going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Sunday where we're going to be reviewing Stranger Things Season 4 Part 2. That's the last 2 episodes. It's 4th of July weekend, so happy 4th of July to everybody in the chat and you guys, especially my American friends here, because we do have an anomaly here. There's a Welsh dude.
We had winners and losers.
The gate was opened.
Yay, she's got a flag and everything. I saw you waving that flag.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
You're ready. You're here.
I have an American flower, I guess my kid made me, so.
I'm wearing a USA shirt. There you go.
All right,
Nina, we'll gladly claim you.
Woo! Yeah. America. Fuck yeah. I'm here. I have a cold, you guys, so I apologize if I sound incredibly sexy. It's because I have a cold.
Oh my.
Same.
But yeah, so like we're here. Let's do quick introductions. Force of Light's here. Tell them where they can find you.
Yes, yeah, I'm one half of Force of Light Entertainment. My sister is not here tonight. I also have a cold. My voice isn't normally quite this unappealing. But anyways, you can find us at Force of Light Entertainment on YouTube. We just put out our review for Volume 2 of Stranger Things, and our reactions to the last 2 videos are going to be coming out probably this week. So
Nice.
check us out there.
Very cool. And then we have Jane Theory here. Hello, Jane.
Hello.
Hi.
You can find me here on YouTube. I post movie and television reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. You can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Jane Theory.
Nice. And the links are all in the description. So make sure you're subscribed. And then we have Sporking News Podcast in the house. What's going on, Scott?
No, you know, my voice is usually like this sexy, so I'm here and I'm ready. And you can find me on the YouTubes and all the other stuff at Sporking News Podcast. Please support us all.
There you go. And George Molo will be joining us in a bit. He's just running late. And then last but certainly not least, the long man is here. Hello, Mahler. Good to see you.
Hey, I'll see you again on Tuesday too.
I know. Well, welcome to my channel because you've never been here before. So welcome here.
It's nice and cozy.
I know.
Isn't
it nice? It's
I like the background. I can see lots of spooky red.
Ooh, thank you. Yeah, I figured we're doing Stranger
And
Things.
your head too. It's kind of freaky.
Yeah, I'm peeking over there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm Mueller. I make really long videos about how Star Wars sucks. That's the main thing, I think.
And amazing long videos.
Yeah, and Game of Thrones too. I remember I
Yeah.
watched, I think it was what was it, 9-10 hour stream that you did on Game of Thrones.
Are you going to finish season 8 or
That's what I'm asked about forever and ever, and I
know.
might.
Fingers crossed.
Look, doing that episode 5 when it just sapped all the passion right out, and I was like, I'm done. But hey, we're getting that Jon Snow show eventually, right? That'll be
Can't wait.
Apparently an
back,
Arya
boys.
show too.
Oh,
What?
why not? Throw them all in. Get an MCU for the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I've
All
heard
the money.
Oh shit. We'll have a
Oh, my
tickler show. We'll have them all. Just have them all in there.
the tickler. Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
I
Do it.
don't know the fuck. Okay.
Yeah, was it Gary's idea of the Night Queen? Let's
Yes.
do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh,
Just
the
Night
Night-
Queen. I mean,
my-
think about it. You got both sides of the wall fighting. It'll be great. That'd be a good one. The Night Queen. God, it's going to be garbage. What are you going to talk about with Jon Snow? I'm sorry. Anyways.
All right. Another show, Scott. Okay. So we're here to talk about another show. One that actually, was not doing very well in terms of where they were headed. I feel like they weren't doing very well with their season 2 and 3. I think most of the panel agrees here, except for Force of Light, who's obsessed with the series. And that's
Again,
fine.
I stand by this.
You can
Bad
be wrong.
Stranger Things is better than 95% of television today.
Agreed.
That's
I will
not,
throw a
that's not a
bone for
lie.
that, actually, because I'd seen Kenobi recently, like a lot of people, unfortunately. And watching season 2 and 3 of Stranger Things, I was like, I mean, it's still better than Kenobi.
Way better.
That's true. That's very true. But I think that they really, really picked it up with season 4. We kind of had this discussion already with the last time we did this for the other part 1. And now it's part 2. So we're before we get into it though, guys, this is going to be a spoiler discussion. We're going to be talking about everything, including major character deaths. So if you don't want to see it, if you don't want to hear us talking about it right now, if you don't want that spoiled for you, this would be a good time for you to exit and return once you have seen the show. Otherwise, you have been warned now. So don't get mad. Don't get mad. Spoiler. Okay, so let's begin. Mahler, what did you think of all the shit that went down in the last 2 episodes?
The shortest way I can describe it would be, I loved it, but it might be bad. That's just because if anyone knows my work, I like to try and separate out how good I think a thing is and then how much I really, really like it. And Stranger Things season 4 appeals to me directly in lots of ways.
Okay.
But the more and more I think about it, the more and more I talk about it, the more and more I'm like, damn, they fucked that up and that up and that up and that up. But I still like it.
Still better than
that's
Kenobi.
How I felt too. I mean, like when I think about it a little bit more, I'm like, I kind of wanted this and I kind of wanted that, but it's still good. Like, I don't know. Okay, what about you, Jane?
No, I really did enjoy it, but I agree there were certain points. There are things that just could have been left out. And there are other places where I feel like they held back a little bit. And I don't know whether it's because they are anticipating another season to sort of tie those ends up or what. But yeah, overall, I loved it. But it just, I don't know, they could have shaved a couple minutes off of it, I think.
All right. Scott?
I liked it more before we got 8 and 9. I felt like 8, I know like the what is it called? Penultimate, the one
Penultimate.
Before. Yeah. Okay. I got it right. Holy shit. The one, but they usually, that's the setup or that's the really exciting one. It's either or. This was all set up. And then it was set up halfway through episode 9. I love the character Eddie. Like, I really enjoyed his arc. I thought that guy was a great actor. I really hated the basketball player. Mahler, you said it backstage. Jason, was it Jason?
Jason.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Jason. Like, I hated him so much. Like, they did so. I hated him so much for being like. Yeah, I did. I hated him so much, but I understood him. Let's put it that way.
I loved him.
Oh, he annoyed the shit out of me. You're the devil, Lord, son. Okay,
I don't know about love, but I understood him. I was kind of like, hey, man, I would do the same thing.
Oh, yeah. If you think people are demon, yeah, I get that too. So there has to be another season or this was kind of a waste. That's
there's a 5th and final season.
So there definitely is. All the kids are locked in.
100%. They had that signed on before season 4 was even done.
Yeah.
And that's why going into this, I want to say, first off,
say it.
I called it last time I was on the show.
He did.
I was the only one who said no major character will die.
I fought you on that.
It's true.
I fought you on that
I
too.
did too.
I said, you guys are applying Game of Thrones rules and other today's television, but the Duffer Brothers have recreated something that is inspired by Star Wars, The Goonies, and E.T., and it's that type of show, and that just is what it is. So
You're right. Because
I thought of you. I thought of you then.
I said two things that were totally, completely wrong, which was one was that the black kid was going to die.
I did say that too.
Because
it's
the 80s theme of kill off the black kid.
Yeah.
And 2, I thought Mike was going to die because I thought Mike was completely useless and they had to give him something to do. So you might as well kill him off and have 11, go crazy or some shit. I don't know.
Can I ask you a question, Nina?
I wanted Max to die and they didn't completely.
They didn't go through with it, Jane. I was
That's
screaming.
a topic.
Yeah, that's a whole topic.
Yeah, that is a whole topic.
But one of the things I called too going into the show, because I've known that there was season 5. The Duffer Brothers always had plotted out 5 seasons. I knew this was going to end straight up Empire Strikes Back, and that's what this does beat for beat, including Max, a main character's like health looming in the balance going into the next one.
I think she's more like Finn, but okay.
I'm not sure. But Empire had balls. I don't think this season did.
Yeah, this season didn't have that much balls. I mean, I think it would have been like a major balls to actually kill her off, or kill off Mike, or somebody like, interesting.
And I respect you for saying that last time. Like, you actually made me remember that you don't have to kill them, but I felt like they set it up to like the brink of somebody dying that someone probably should have died.
But I think
that somebody was Eddie.
That someone was Eddie.
I don't want to talk about that.
I mean, he was a hero who died, but she was one of the beings that needed to be killed for the other gate to open, right? So with her,
so is she dead?
Intermediate state.
No.
I mean, if anybody doesn't know, like, because I did a lot of speculating before this, my top 3 picks for death were actually Steve, Eddie, and Jonathan. Jonathan, because they clearly are writing him out of the show. They don't care about that character anymore. It's unfortunate.
Wait, which one's Jonathan?
Jonathan's the boyfriend that lived in California.
Right.
Doesn't that accentuate it perfectly? Jonathan was like a main character in season 1, and Nina's trying to remember who he is now.
That's sad, right? I literally didn't we look up. Did we look up last show, or was that one of my streams where we looked up to see if they broke up in real life? Because that couple, Jonathan and Nancy, are a couple in real life. We looked it up because I'm like, why aren't they ever in a scene together? Like, was this like some type of contract thing, like Lena Headey, type style on Game of Thrones? But no, they didn't break up. They just hate Jonathan.
Yep, that's how I saw it. Eddie was obviously a big pick, and as soon as they had the scene where he's like, Dustin never changed, man. He's like happily hanging out. I was like, so he's just dead. This is Eddie's dead. There's no way he's getting out of this.
Yeah. Or like I will say this. I was very happy with one situation, and that was the fact that they didn't make Will gay, and especially gay for...
Didn't they?
Yeah, but they didn't make him gay for Mike, okay? And No, they didn't, because there was this one point where Jonathan and him are having that conversation
after he lusted for him. Yeah, like he's looking at him, lusting for him, and his brother's like, "Well, my brother's gay. I better have a talk with him."
He's not lusting for him. I think he was lusting for love. Like he wants someone to love. It doesn't. It's not about Mike. It's about what they have. He wants someone to love, and he feels like he'll never have that because, and I don't even think it's because he's gay. I think it's because he's connected to the upside down, and he keeps feeling like the weird things or whatever. I think that's why he feels so different. I don't think it's about him being gay. And then I was kind of really happy when they were like, because I swear to God, I was like, he's gonna be like, I'm gay, bro. Like I was just waiting for him to like be like, I'm gay and I'm gay for Mike. And I was like, thank God he didn't say that. But
I got so confused that we were dealing with basically the end of the world and characters dying in the Hawkins plot. And then when we skip over to the Lenora plot, it's like, man, those Mike and Will talking about how their friendship hasn't been too great lately. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
They're in the right place, aren't they? Like they're fighting about pineapple on pizza. I was like, oh my God, not this one again.
And then the plot line gets a like literal defibrillator, just goes boom, into it when the fight scene happens. I was like, whoa, okay, all right, okay, I'm in. All right. That guy who's defending them, he becomes a Chad in about 10 seconds. He goes from being like, oh yeah, I'll order a pizza, I'm just chill. Then he's just like killing all of these soldiers. I was like, dude, you're like the best person ever.
And you're talking about the FBI agent?
The Chad BI agent, yeah.
The Chad BI agent, the one that tortured and held out for so long.
Oh, that one, they both did
that
really
guy was the hardcore. He was hardcore.
Dude, I was so impressed with the action scene that I was like, why didn't they just fuck their ideas on their plotline, right? Let's just have it. So they were defending them as early as season 1. The action scene maybe happens at the end of it. This agent guy, he's taking them around, defending them from like the government attacks. He gets killed off maybe episode 3, and Jonathan is then in charge of. He gets his weaponry. He has a bit of training from him, and he's forced to take care of these kids while they avoid the government. I was like, that would be way more interesting than They like sit around for 4 episodes with the stupid high guy, and I was just like,
Right. He annoyed the shit out. Like at the first minute I saw him, I was like, that's kind of funny. He's like this Spicoli, but it just went so far, and it was like, dude, could we just stop? Like, could this guy go to rehab? Something,
he
just
has too
get
much
him out of
screen
here.
time.
He's one of those unnecessary characters.
I just think the joke is just, it doesn't have that much staying power.
No.
Like, isn't it funny that he's high? Oh, Purple Palm Spring Delight.
Spring.
How many times can they say that and it's still be funny? I was like, please stop it. Please.
God.
Stop this. You know, I don't know if he's dead.
No, he's not dead.
I don't think he is.
I
Because they
think
just
he is.
You guys don't think he's dead?
He died. He died.
They're
You
gonna bring
think
him back
so? I
somehow.
mean,
He'll
was
be
shot.
Vader.
He was shot through the heart with a
I
sniper.
think he's dead.
And he was alive for like 35 minutes.
I
It
know.
was a
he
long
was
time.
lying
You know,
there,
like,
though.
he got shot in like main arteries in the
He
leg.
gave
got
himself an adrenaline shot, okay?
I think it's possible that they may bring him back next season, and then be like, "Oh, no one ever really died."
How-
To
wait a
what
minute.
end?
I don't
but
remember
he will be
season
back.
1. How did he die in season 1? Or like, how did they
We
get
saw
rid
a
of him?
Demogorgon jump onto him and then it cut.
Okay, so he
Okay,
survived that.
Survived a Demigorgon. I'm sure he can fucking survive a sniper
Listen,
shot.
no body, no death. We saw his body. He's gone.
Valid point.
That's
I think-
true.
It'll
But
be
we all
think it's
agreed
Port
here, though,
Arthur
that
Dover.
season 4 retconned the fuck out of the whole series. Like, it's changed a shit ton. They've done the best they can to make
Yeah.
it slot in, but it's
Mhm.
very evident they've changed their mind on lots of different items, including but not limited to, like Elle's origin, the
Yep.
bad guy behind the Upside Down, the Mind Flayer's actual position. Season
Right.
2 and 3, the Mind Flayer was its own entity, but now it's
Yep.
like, no, it was Vecna all along. It's like, no,
like
it
he
wasn't.
created him right out of the particles. Is that
I don't, yeah, I
correct?
don't really.
I don't
No,
know.
he was
I don't
there.
think he created them. He just he used his power while
he
he was there to
molded-
take control of it.
Yeah, he molded
Yeah.
like the cloud of particles into more of a spider-like shape after they were like, he likes spiders. He looks
No,
kind of
he
like a spider.
He likes Black
go.
Widow. I mean, what? Like that
He-
was
he-
fucking weird. Like
he's a
as a
psycho.
He
kid.
said he likes spiders because they bring order to a chaotic world while humans ruin everything, I think. Which is funny because he's ruined the Upside Down. It was like a chill
Yeah.
human place where they're all doing their own thing, and then he was like, you will be my army now. It's like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
Like the
I think that's-
Demigorgons were like this big or whatever they're called. They're like this big when he was walking through all messed up after electrocution, like shocks, and then he's the one. You're absolutely right. Warped it. What a piece of shit.
I think that's
in
that's
his
on
mind,
purpose.
he brought order to it.
I think the idea there is that it's a level of hypocrisy that he's like,
Yeah.
humanity is a scourge on Earth, and then he does the same thing to the Upside Down in a sense.
To let
Yeah.
me bring some order. What a dick. You're right.
Well, I will say I way prefer Vecna to not Vecna. Like, I think the Upside Down
I-
is desperately needed a personality beyond just, it's a
direction.
big spooky monster. He's gonna get you.
Yeah. Oh my god. I don't know. There's
Where
so
do we
much to
even
talk
start?
about.
Where do we even
Yeah.
start?
Yeah, like where do you even start? Because I can tell you this. I was a little disappointed with episode 8. Like,
All right,
I
let's
was
talk
like,
about that. Sorry.
you know, because that's how it kind of started. I was like, all right, but the whole thing just turned out to be a giant setup for episode 9, which I was like, okay, like I get it. Like we're gonna need
You
this
know what?
setup.
What made it worse, I think, is depending on your obsession levels, which
Mm-hmm.
mine were relatively high after what I thought was the banger 4th episode and a
Yeah.
great lead into what we're going to get in the finale. You already knew everything that happened in episode 8 before you'd seen it. This is all stuff we've all figured out from trailers and talking to people. It's like, yeah, okay, they're going to do this, 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 this. And then they have the scenes of saying, we're going to do that. And you're like, Get to the when you do it, though. Like,
Yeah,
come on.
exactly. That's literally what I was like. I was like, all right, let's go. Okay, fine. We already know all this. And then
I enjoyed watching it play out, though.
I didn't.
I was desperate to see the other part.
Me too. Me too. I was like, okay, let's get to this. But the other part that I was kind of like, I wanted more was like Hopper and what's her name's part, Joyce's part. Like I was like, okay, like they were in Russia the whole fucking series, and it's like, all right, like, you know, she gets them out, and then it's like, okay, they go out, and then they can't like leave.
Suburban house mom breaks through Russian, like,
I'm
I
not
mean,
sure,
this is communist Russia. Like, this is how the hell they even did it. Like, again, like you were saying, Mueller backstage, like the ice cream, you know, 2 kids that work at an ice cream stand, and you know, this dork. how the hell did they do it? Well, it's like a mom, a guy who takes karate with 12-year-olds, and the stereotypical Russian smuggler guy backstabbing him. Like that plot line, I like the relationship between like the prison guard and the father, Elle's father.
Hopper.
I'm blanking. Yeah, thank you, Hopper. But like other than that, like I wish they got back a little sooner. But I understand they're.
I did too.
Season
Like I
5.
wanted them to get back. I was like, okay, let's let's see this fight. Like let's see them reuniting and everybody going to the fucking upside down and try and killing this bastard. And then it's like, oh, like let's just go back to the prison and kill a bunch of fucking demigorgons.
That's one of the storylines I hated because I felt like it was completely unnecessary.
I didn't buy it.
No,
I
But
didn't
it
buy
helps
that either.
11. I don't buy that at all. It looks like a random selection of. I don't even know why the Russians have all of these. But okay.
Like, what?
and they
And to
knew
be
the
honest with you-
particles were part of it, Mahler. Like they knew that if they destroyed those particles, it was going to
Yeah.
break down whoever they were fighting. That was dumb.
I didn't follow that at all. I don't believe that they would even think that. And
No.
honestly, if I were in the writing room when they were making this season, they pitched me the Hopper's plot line, I would just be like,
Cut it.
but why?
Yeah, but exactly. And then like the Russians were making Demigorgon because they had them in those batches. Like I thought they were like cloning
I think they
them
were
at first.
I
was
thought
like,
they were
what?
capturing
Yeah,
them.
you know.
They
But
were
does that mean,
capturing
did they
them.
have a gate then, or did they just?
Well,
did
they
that
had a
work?
gate in
Season
season
3.
3, right?
So they
Yeah.
captured them from then and then moved them back over to because I thought
No,
their
the gate was in Russia and in Hawkins last
Yeah,
season.
it was in
correct?
both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how Hopper ended up there. But can anybody tell me how Hopper on moldy bread, maggots, and like water became ripped? Like he was like ripped. And I know that's nitpicking, but he's all jacked and everything. Like how? I know he's.
Look, I can explain. They allowed him
please.
in the prison to film Hellboy while he was there, and he had to get a shame for it.
There
Okay,
you
it makes
go.
sense.
Must.
Yeah, I don't know. There was just some things about that. Like at first, like I was like, okay, I'm feeling this. Like during the early episodes, I was like, okay, this is amazing. Like whatever. But by the end of it, I was like, they're gonna go back in and fight a bunch of demigorgons and think that that's helping Elle because they're connected via hive mind. That's fucking lame. Like
Still
they should have just
95%
gone back.
better.
Also,
Still
maybe-
95% better.
Not that I necessarily care about this, but they fucked over season 2 hardcore with that scene. Murray destroys like 7 Dema type demon
Yes!
things with one flamethrower. Do you guys remember when 10 Dema dogs took down the entire scientific facility with all the
Yes.
people prepped with flamethrowers, all kinds of flame weapons, because that's what they've been doing? It's like, I don't believe you that
Yeah.
Yep.
you've ruined. Like, I think a lot of people found Bob Newby's death to be pretty impactful. I know a lot of
Yes.
people did, and I no
Hit
longer.
me.
It makes me think like, wait, so if he just like if anybody had a flamethrower,
had a
it'd be
match.
fine.
Because
Pretty
there was only
much.
one of them. If you had a match, you could probably take care of it. Yeah.
Well, remember, a
Brooke Hart.
torch is all
Yes.
Hopper had to push
Yes.
back one of the most damaging Demogorgons we've ever seen. So
Yes.
if only Bob Newby had his torch, I guess. It
or
doesn't-
Zippo.
Well, and
Yeah.
then there was another part that I was like, I don't understand because Hopper goes into like whatever, like there was a part where like there was a demigorgon on the bed and like its chest was open because they were experimenting on it or whatever. And then Hopper takes one fucking shot with his handgun into the fucking thing's head and it's dead. And then the other, like, and then he's standing there, he shoots him with an AK like 20 times and it doesn't fucking die. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, he shot it like in the face 5 times, but it didn't die.
That would be that is like in line with Stranger Things because season 1, the Demigorgon was like so hard. They had so many machine guns, could never take the thing out. Only 11 could. And then in season 2, with guns, they could take out the Demi dogs, the small ones. So I don't know if they just get a lot bigger or.
So why was he able to kill it with that one bullet though?
But that's what I'm saying. That one looked like an infant, maybe. Or
I want to agree with you, but the thing that frustrated me when I rewatched season 1 was how, okay, so it's immune to bullets for the most part. All right, I'm following. That's fine with me now, as long as you keep consistent. It's not immune to a bear trap. It tears its leg off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, if a bear trap can do it, then
right.
the high-powered rifles should be able to.
Should be able to. Like, I mean, that's what I was thinking too. Like, it's like the caliber. Like, I mean,
they got weak ankles.
They haven't set up, what their strengths and weaknesses are, if they're different grades of them or anything. So
I would be willing to accept that, but like when you have like Hopper can, I guess you can say like the flamethrower weakened it. That's why you could chop it up with a sword. I guess we'll have to go with that. I don't know.
I mean, how sharp was that sword too? That's the other thing. Like, I was like, this sword, like some rusty piece of shit, like you would assume, because they're like, it was like, I don't know.
Also, throughout the series, Hopper has died like 7 times. It's ridiculous. Like when I was rewatching it, do you remember when he gets stuck in the upside down like vine caves in season 2, and he just he gets attacked by tentacles and he's like drowning in the gassy stuff, but he's just fine.
Well,
and
that's
then
my question.
In this season, the one that really frustrated me is he held off a demo dog with his hands. It's like,
George, I have to ask you this too. What?
Hi, George.
I thought the upside down was poisonous to breathe in if you were there too long in one of the first seasons, and then it was like you could take a vacation there and you're fine.
Right. Well, we saw that, wasn't it, in season 3, or is it season 2 when they're walking underground in those tunnels? The kids when they decide to like not listen and go. Yeah. And Steve had the hell beat out of him by Max's brother. Was that
Hopper gets knocked out because he's down there too long.
Yeah.
They have not stayed consistent on that at all.
No, at all. They must get immune or I don't know.
Yeah, because you have the guys in the suits.
Maybe they got immunity.
It's herd immunity. Nice.
They got upside down herd immunity. That's what they got. Real quick, I'm gonna get to some of these super chats, including George's 1999 super sticker. Thank you so much, George. You did not have to do that. And then the Uber gig for 5 says the finale was a mix to me. Had good stuff, i.e. Vecna being alive, but let me down by having 11 be all Rey Skywalker healing with her force powers.
I don't.
But she wasn't though.
No.
She didn't.
Yeah, but I was worried about that.
What's her name's a shell? Like she's not there, right?
She's
Max
lost in the void, bro.
Yeah,
like
she was dead.
She's gonna be back.
Yeah, she is gonna be
They're
back.
gonna bring her back.
Was anybody worried that she transferred some of her power to her? I was thinking she did.
God,
well, that's what I don't know.
You know what I thought would be a really ballsy ending that they would never ever do is that 11 starts to actually do the Rey Force heal, where it actually transfers, and so for every limb that breaks back in place for Max, it would break 11's, and then basically give her life to let Max live. And I was like, they would never kill 11 though.
Because that's creative and unique,
But see, that's what I'm looking forward to next season. I think she has to die. Maybe
we can finally kill main characters.
Yeah, we can finally kill her. She's going.
You guys,
please, we got to hear from you.
Game of Thrones, go watch Game of Thrones. That's not what you're watching.
I have a list of characters I hope they kill
for 4 seasons.
I mean, I'll give it to you. I feel like you're onto something with the whole theory about the things it's referencing and how they oftentimes don't kill those characters and those properties. But the part that bothers me is when they put them in lethal danger and then they're like, no, they're fine. And it's like,
but that's kind of like
me.
Yeah, but
Episode 3 Game of Thrones.
Bandits and Goonies is the same way.
Well, that's how we all felt about Hopper too. Like when we all thought he died, and then somehow he was the American that survived. So it was like, okay, like we know that they do that a lot. Having said that, I'm fucking pissed that they killed off Eddie because I feel like they should have at least given him another season because we're talking about people staying alive. If anyone deserved another fucking season, it was Eddie.
Don't you think somebody in there, like somebody in that camp, anybody was like, dude, this kid is amazing in this role. Could we change the ending? Like someone even
they did for
reshot. Yeah,
like
just
for Steve. He was supposed to die in the first season, if I remember what they were saying originally, and then they liked him a lot. But Eddie, no. I rather Porcupine Face go. I can't stand him. Jonathan. It's like I'm waiting for him.
Everybody hates Jonathan.
I'm waiting for one episode for him to take his mask off. I'm waiting. He's gonna take the mask off and go, I'm Demigorgon or Mindful.
I hate that he died, but I think they did such a great arc with him and just how he was introduced versus how he changed over that period of time.
Uglier each
and
season.
Everyone loves Eddie. I don't know anybody who says they don't like Eddie's arc.
But everyone else in the outside world, they still see him as like this evil person, and that conflict.
When he was telling his uncle that he died a hero and no one, dude, there was 2 scenes that gave me like, and it was both about Eddie. When Eddie looked at him and said, I didn't run. Right? I didn't run. I'm getting chills right now thinking about it.
When he says, I love you, bro.
Yes.
Dude, no way.
That guy.
When he says, you gotta say you'll look after him.
It's
perfect. Especially if you rewatch the season, it's all there. They set everything up.
They did.
it's
The sheep. Didn't he say that, Mauler? The sheep, watch over the little
look after
sheep. That was just, and Dustin
Dude,
pulled it
it's,
off.
He in one scene when I was watching the show, he was the one guy I was just like, what is this? Excuse me, I'm more used to this being shit. Why is this guy like so awesome immediately? Like
Right.
it's a bit weird, unusual. And then you get the scene with him and Chrissy, and I was like,
Oh,
man,
Man.
how is it that they have this level of chemistry with two characters I've never seen before?
Right.
What the fuck's
Right.
going on?
Right.
That was why I loved the beginning of this season, because in that episode I'm like, oh, there's going to be like a weird love triangle, and then they just break her bones. But that chemistry they had was just like, oh, this is what Jonathan and his actual real girlfriend
Right.
Nancy don't have.
Right. I mean, you had basically the prom queen with D&D.
Yeah, that's every 80s. That's every
That's
80s
great.
movie.
It reminded me a little bit of, oh my God, was it 16 Candles? I don't know if everybody remembers those types
Kind of in the
stuff.
reverse. But it was a lot of those old movies, you know, like
Breakfast
16
Club.
Well, yeah, Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, She's All That, like just these great movies where the popular kid and the outsider find common love and, you know, connection. And Eddie played that role with he had this smile that was either devilish, attractive, like friendly, loving, like, and when he died, I literally, like, there was a part of me was like, wow, that got me in the feels, man.
It did.
Dude, I think the Duffer Brothers already regret killing him when they would have
I do
seen
too.
the reaction online. There's like 10,000 viral tweets of him playing Metallica.
Oh, that was so dope.
I mean, that
But
guitar
see, I
scene.
think that's why it's smart they did it, because they know they're not going to kill a main character, so they make you fall in love with new characters and then kill them.
You and your main character.
I wish they would have killed
Yes.
Erica. I could think of like Erica.
She's still Erica, Jesus.
I can't stand
like
Erica.
Erica.
She drives me crazy.
Kill that
God,
little
it's-
girl.
I'm gonna be honest, I
Honestly,
liked
they could've
Erica
killed
more this
Lucas. That would've
season
been fine.
than in any of the other ones.
Lucas, I liked. I thought he
a bit more
grew.
tolerable this time around. I especially when Jason was talking to her about where Lucas is. He said, like, Lucas was out with me. Do you know where he is now? And I think her response is something like, "Oh, that's a downgrade from Max." It was like, nice.
She is badass. She is like
Which
the
one?
sassy sister, Erica.
Yeah.
I
liked
liked
them more
I liked
this
her in this
season.
season. Yeah, same
Yeah.
here. This season she did a great job, and there were some moments with her brother, like that were true, you know, sibling moments. Like the Duffer Brothers, I got to give them. They find those quiet moments to have characters that aren't the main characters. Because I'm sorry, Mike is not the kid who plays Mike is not a good actor. And you don't feel the connection really anymore. I felt it more in the earlier seasons.
First season, yeah.
Yeah, with him
I
and
thought he
Elle.
was great in season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been losing his mojo, I think, a little bit. It could be the writing. I'm not sure.
They
Or
haven't
he-
given him much to do besides.
They haven't
love.
given. Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah.
But he didn't have that magic, though. You know that he didn't have that magic. I mean, Dustin, or
Dustin.
even Lucas. Lucas this season for me, he
he's
stepped
great.
up. He was brilliant. I was like, holy shit!
Yeah,
when
but
he was
George,
with-
they gave something to do to Dustin.
Yeah.
Like Dustin, it
Mhm.
was, you know, the main friend of Eddie's, and like they're the ones that have this adventure, and like they're the ones that are doing something.
Kindred
What the
spirits.
fuck is Mike? What the fuck's going
Yeah,
on?
they
It's like,
gave-
what,
Dustin's always been the best of 4 kids, as far as I'm concerned. He's
Yeah.
had technology exposition, like
Mhm.
the nerdy aspect. Obviously, he's into D&D, but then he has like the connection with Steve, which they started up in season 2, which is like my
Yep.
favorite thing they did in season 2, and it
Yeah.
carries through to season 3 and 4,
Right.
and then they made him Eddie's like best friend as well. Dustin's just the best one. He's the most interesting one, and I'm
Mhm.
sorry, but the actor, I forget his name exactly, but that scene with Eddie's uncle, that was incredible.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
See,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
power.
I'm gonna
That's
look him
power
up
right there.
because I feel like he was in other things back in the day. But that uncle, even the couple scenes in the beginning of the season, he felt like a presence. That guy was a presence on screen, and I just don't know who he is.
I feel like there was a huge missed opportunity though with that scene. Well, not the scene with the uncle, but with Eddie's death. Like, and you brought that up too, Mahler, in your tweet about it. Cause I literally was like thinking, like, where is everybody? Like, you know, because they're all like in different places or
Mhm.
whatever. And then it's like, you know, we should have gotten a scene where the cast shows up and sees that Eddie's dead. You know,
would've
we
liked
should have
that.
gotten this like emotional reunion of like, oh, poor Eddie. Like, you know, what are we gonna do with his body? Like, have a
Right.
conversation about it. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, how are we gonna get him out of here? Like, we can't just leave him here, guys. Like, something. Like, it was just like, oh, let's just pan out with Dustin over his body, and like that's it. Like, I thought that was a cop out.
I agree with you there, but I think for some reason, that it's like when they leave the body there, I almost felt like when you have Vecna come back, I don't know if he's going to use it, if the Duffer Brothers left an opening there to kind of reanimate the corpse, do some kind of George Miller thing with it, but there's something they're going to do with it.
I'm very sad that he died, but I also don't want them to bring him back.
I don't bring him back.
You know what I mean? Don't you think that?
No, like a zombie-ish thing.
I don't know,
like
that would be absolutely terrible if they did.
I know, but that's what I'm thinking. Like, what is
I think Max will be his vessel because she's not there. She's gone, so Max will be the vessel next season.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You're saying Max is going to be the vessel for Vecna next season?
Yes.
You might be right. My assumption right now, until we get a trailer to really be able to dig into, is that she'll be in a coma. He'll be really sad right up until the season 5 finale, where they beat Vecna and release all of his like captured soul E's, and then 11 will be able to cycle Max's back into her body, and she'll be fine and live happily ever after. And I'm going to be annoyed.
Yeah,
about that.
I hope you're not right, man.
You know what's weird though? I feel like maybe, and I don't know. There was a scene, when 11's trying to find Max's memories or whatever, and then she's like in that skate park where she's like really, really young.
What did that mean?
Yeah, because now I feel like maybe that's actually where she is. Like that's like where her
hiding
consciousness
in that bright
is.
Memory? You mean hiding in like the bright memory that she was in with Vecna?
Because like she wasn't there, so I feel like maybe 11 found like where her consciousness actually lies, and it's that area, but we don't know that yet as the audience. I'm just thinking like, I don't know, maybe in season 5 they'll be able to expand on that. Maybe that's where she's hiding, like her consciousness is hiding. I don't know.
I thought it was the sort of the opposite of Vecna's power, how he uses terrible memories or fears to
trap you,
snatch souls or what have you. I think that maybe she was trying to do the same thing, but in reverse.
Yes.
So she was going through the happier, more pleasant memories to see if she could find her there.
Yeah, well, that was the plan, wasn't it? I just like one of your chat people, Philip A. Demick says, "Oh my God! Have Eddie become Iron Maiden's Eddie."
Oh my God.
I don't know why, but that would be kind of awesome.
But I think that they're just going to do something with him. Whenever you don't see a body buried or done, they just left.
I don't think so. I think he's just dead.
Did they leave him there?
Unfortunately, I just think it's a mistake they made. There's no real proper conclusion for Eddie outside of the Dustin Uncle conversation. But I'm fucking annoyed that I didn't see Steve, Robin, and Nancy appreciate that Eddie died to give them more time.
Right?
Yes, this is exactly what I'm saying. Like I'm like, dude, no.
They wasted moments. Right. But they spent too much time on other moments that were like, okay, it's dragging on. Let's go. Like,
okay, if I can give a hot take on that regard, I actually got kind of pissed off that they spent like 5 minutes with Robin and her potential girlfriend storyline.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Like, move the peanut butter on. I want to
that was
Eddie.
Yeah, that was odd. What
it's
about
great? They work in the same place. Move on.
Did y'all like that kind of? It felt to me like an homage to Terminator when you had Nancy with the shotgun. Do y'all remember that when she?
That was awesome.
Yeah,
I liked it. Yeah,
had their role.
Though if I were with them, I would have been like, we should have brought literally everything and used everything, not just a gun and a Molotov. Like I'm thinking, have we got C4? We might
that was actually one of my questions because I was like, why doesn't anyone else have guns?
They did
only Nancy had a gun. Like I was like, what the fuck?
They didn't have time. All the basketball players were in that place they went to get weapons. So they grabbed what they could and got the hell out. That's the only answer I can give for that, because a shotgun is not the perfect weapon. Like she should have had a lot more. It's it looked like you could buy anything there. I would have bought a bazooka if I could have,
I think also for storytelling purposes, it was her weapon. Like that was the thing that was associated with her in the first place. So.
Yeah, but
Now,
when
which-
you're going
I don't
into
know,
the
I-
upside down, I feel like people
need to
need
take
to
a
pick up some
flamethrower.
goddamn
Yeah, do you remember
guns.
they had a plan in episode, I want to say 6 or 7, where they said let's go to the police station and get as many guns as we had, the upside down version. I was like, do that.
Yes.
Go to the gun store equivalent of the upside down. Nobody was going to have touched that. Nobody
I
would
thought
have,
that
so-
they were doing that, like, you know, the place that they were going to buy the guns from. I thought they were going there through the upside down so that they can get the guns for free.
Yeah,
Like,
and they can get as
why
much
are
as they want. They can take all the time they want. You know.
Yeah, why are you like paying for this? I was just like, go to
I
the
thought it
fucking
was
upside down.
just a little bit silly when they looked down and Vecna's body was gone. I was like,
Yeah,
all right,
another one of those moments.
It was like, oh, whoops, like here he goes.
Okay, so actually, speaking of that, what the fuck was up with that? Because
he's alive.
Yeah,
He's
he's
alive,
alive,
yeah.
but why? Like, because it
Because
wasn't.
You have
because
season
he's the
5.
big bad for the final season.
Dude.
Well,
Yeah.
I know,
Again,
but
You're in Empire Strikes Back, and you're about to get Return of the Jedi.
But what else are you supposed to do to kill someone like that? Because they basically did everything.
Yeah,
It's
they
gonna
didn't
be
shoot
L.
Darth Vader with a shotgun.
It'll be
so-
L with her one-on-one,
Yeah,
right?
You need L.
Yeah.
It's gonna be L. It's
Like,
gonna be him and L 1-on-1, and she'll
face
take
to
him down.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about a few flamethrowers? I did like that.
Could I ask a question too about L? And then, I'm sorry. Why don't you go? Because you haven't said much. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I actually, Nina, earlier you said, because I felt the same way. You're like, can they just all get together sooner? Like, you definitely feel that way. Then more on retrospect, it's like, even though I would have enjoyed that, maybe this season and that's what's good. I was the most nervous about this season because they really, what were they going to do? And that is why they made Vecna and kind of retcon a little stuff, I think, so they could have 2 more seasons. But I was really nervous about what they were going to do. And they did something so different, and yet it worked. And what I was going to say different, the Stranger Things formula would be for them all to come together, like in the flesh, and take on the thing. So I actually kind of appreciate that we got a season where it was different. Even with 11 not physically being there.
I get what you're saying, but like, and I like that
I felt like
she
you
was
felt
doing
too.
stuff. Like I like that she was doing stuff in the mind, and I thought that was cool and everything. But with regards to like Hopper and them, like the second time around going to kill the fucking like whatever the hell, like I'm like
Demigorgons.
Dude,
the Demogorgons, like it was just so dumb. Like I just didn't like that part. Like I
think it would have been better to have synced the Hopper plotline to simply be they all connect into the prison. There's guards everywhere. There's prisoners running around. Maybe because all the buttons get pressed, but there's also one Demogorgon running around, and so they need to figure out how to get out of this prison. They come up with a plan. There's several doors, pathways, blah blah blah. But it's wiping out everyone. And then, the climax of the Hopper plotline is they can see the exit doors and the Demogorgon catches up to them. Now what? That sort of thing.
More like
one
a predator.
spooky and his plotline's climax is he escapes the prison. He's going back to Hawkins. That's it. You don't need him to be like, if we kill the Demogorgons here, it might help 11 in some way. It's like,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, that part I didn't get. I was like, what?
Well,
They were
it could
trying
have
to
been
connect it.
But it could have been like, I think what you're trying to say, Mueller, is not what you think. What I get from it is like they could have done that and the effect was hurting Vecna. Not that they thought of that idea that if we killed the smoke monster, from Lost, that we will be able to help the kids. I think it should have been a cause and effect thing that they didn't even realize they did by helping the kids. I just... Going back to the jail to me was like, you just were tortured for how long, beaten. Yes, you're ripped for Hellboy and all, but like you're beat up, you're destroyed. Just that's over the top for me. Like,
Was it
just
for
beyond.
Hellboy? I thought it was for Black Widow.
No,
because he was
fat.
fat. in that.
Hellboy.
He was fat in that.
I was
Why?
fat
But
in
which
that.
which one do y'all like? That's a good question. You like Fat Hopper or New Hopper?
I
I think
I
it's-
like Fat Hopper.
I know that's what I was gonna say. I don't know why, but there's
I
something
did
I can't
not-
put my
Oh,
finger
Jane,
on it.
let's hear it.
Wait, Jane, what was that?
No, there's nothing at all. New Hopper looks a whole lot better, first of all.
New
No, I'm not
Hopper all the
talking
way,
about. I'm not
Jay.
talking about his weight in that way. I don't know. I felt there was just something I can't put my finger on. Some type of.
He
I know
was-
he was
he
in
was,
prison. I know the prison. I'm just saying something else changed.
Well,
for me.
before-
I think they made him they made him hardened by this
Yes.
experience, but I feel like
He's
it was
not as
completely
cynical.
unnecessary. Like there was a plan to go after Vecna, and the adults just didn't have a part in it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And
they
that's
had to figure
okay.
something.
They just, you know.
I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but like I love Hopper in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
I find him frustrating in season 2. Season 3, I outright hate him. He's a
I
shitty
hate him
dad
too.
to
Oh,
Eleven
yeah.
for some reason. He's
Mm-hmm.
like horrible to Mike because he doesn't like that he's kissing 11. It's so
Right.
cringe. Like,
He's
just
known
get
the
the
kid
fuck
his
off
whole
my
life.
screen.
I don't know. I kind of understood that part, but I see what you're saying.
understood
He was a
that.
shitty dad, but I remember when my sister was growing up, I'd be like, that door stays fucking
But, like,
open.
The problem for me is that season 1 told me that this guy's a legendary dad, and he never got to have that because his daughter died of
Right.
like whatever it was she died of. So it's just like when you get to see this man finally have a daughter, and it's just them shouting at each other all the time. I was just like, okay,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
that's great. That's what I
That's
want to see.
annoying. Yeah, no, I
Um,
get you.
And then in season 4, he seems to go back to being a serious man again, who is trying his best to get back to his daughter. And I was like, this is more my speed. This is what I
Yeah.
wanted to see. I don't want to see
same
like
here.
fat crazy
you
Hopper
like-
running around.
So you like season 1 Hopper and season 4 Hopper the best?
Season 1 Hopper
Yeah,
is best
same here.
Hopper. I
Yes.
am.
Okay, that's what I
But I
wanted
mean,
to show him
the-
struggling with a teenager. It's a little bit more of a challenge. for
How
him.
old are they in
Yeah.
this episode or this season? How
Nobody
old are they
knows.
supposed to be?
Aren't they
Because-
sophomores?
They're
They-
supposed to be like 14 and 15.
Well,
I
it
thought
sounds
they're-
like the last 2 episodes, they work really hard at making 11 look flat chested. They put her in baggy. Like, I just didn't know if they're supposed to be underage, and that's why they did. Because the last 2 episodes, she's in like skin tight outfit, looking like a young woman, like a woman.
Are you
And,
paying attention to the teenager?
Well, no, I'm wondering,
see.
like, when she's wearing the white
Naughty,
outfit, she
naughty
looks like a
sport.
boy. She looks like a boy. Hey, I have 2 daughters. Stop. She looks like a boy, and then all of a sudden, like, oh my god, this girl, she is a girl. You know, like I
They
didn't know
did
if they
say
did
there
that
was
on
a time
purpose.
jump for season 5.
Okay.
They need to
I
do
felt
that. The actors are
sophomore,
getting,
junior. That's what
the
I
actors are
got.
getting too tall.
And we see that though in the show, they're maturing in terms of their relationships, and they're really sort of straying away from one another because of that. They're going through the natural things that kids their age would, and then this happens.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm kind of like wondering now, though, is because at first I thought they were going to do the time jump to like, when they're going to high
Seniors?
school or something like
I was
that.
hoping they would.
But now that the ending was what it was, like now that we see like
No town.
the upside down literally manifesting now in Hawkins, I don't know how much of a time jump they're gonna be willing to do, because the only time jump that they would do now is to a point where it's literally become the upside down, because now it's
They could
happening.
maybe go a month or 2. Like,
yeah,
you
like how
can't
much
go
of a
like
time jump are
year.
they gonna do?
Yeah,
And
you
that was
can't
the
go-
problem I
They're supposed to
had
do
with it, because I
couple
really
years.
wanted them to solve the problem. Like I wanted them to win, for them to be victorious,
Right.
and everything goes back to normal. Do your massive time jump. Now they're adults. They have their own families, what have you. And now Vecna's back.
Oh, that's
To
interesting.
me,
Maybe
that
they
was-
like
save
like
that
it
for later.
style sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's
What do you think?
interesting.
What am I thinking?
Oh,
yeah,
Well,
I want to
think-
hear it because you're like the positive fan. I love hearing from it.
Well, I think they're gonna do like if I'm a guessing woman, if I'm a betting woman, I think they'll go to it will end in 1989 when the kids are seniors.
Oh,
I think they're going to end with seniors. I agree completely. Yeah.
I thought
But
this
you're
was
saying
like
like it's gonna
86, isn't it?
end
Yeah,
there.
it's 86 in this year, but they'd be seniors in like 89.
You don't think
Wow.
it'd be 90? Like they turn to give us that turn of the decade? I kind of.
I don't think they will, because Stranger Things is just so synonymous with
80s.
the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I agree
That
with
would be a
you.
cool way to
I
end it,
don't
though,
know
right?
if they're gonna
Yeah, it
do
would
that
be.
for 4 years, though. That's the thing. Like, I think that's
That's
a
a
long time.
3 years.
Well,
is
what
like-
grade did they
Here's
start?
why
What
they're
grade did they
doing
start?
it. They're doing it because so much time went on. There was only supposed to be 8 months difference between season 3 and 4, and these kids grew up like 3.5 years.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's why they're doing the time jump, just so it fits with the kids' ages.
So COVID messed with it.
Right.
Yes, because they had
Okay.
just started to film like a few weeks before COVID hit, and then they were done. So
Uh-huh.
season 3 came out in July 4th, 2019.
Wow. I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have them, I guess, still be like, hey, we're all in 5th grade. And we're like,
How is that going to work with the story? Because
That's
are they
what I'm
just surviving now with
Battling
everything
for
turning
years.
dead?
Well, I'd say Dr. Owens is alive.
Yeah, yeah,
and
definitely.
they're going to probably figure out how to contain the situation
Do you think they'll be quarantined?
I guess.
Like
because
the city?
think about this too. Yes, Vecna kind of got a win, but Vecna, as Will says, is injured, and he says a few other things. So I think Vecna's going to have needs time to recoup to do what he's going to do.
Right.
Yeah, because he sure got hurt when they killed those fucking demigorgons in Russia. That was.
Thank God.
Well, I mean,
Well, they used a couple Molotovs.
Am I the only person that just has no fucking clue what Vecna's limits are?
None.
No,
Well,
I don't know either.
They're playing them
Stranger
exactly out of the D&D.
Stranger Things seems to enjoy to be a little vague in what the rules are. And
Well,
I mean,
that's why it
probably
made
done that
no
for
sense to me because like he got fucking Molotov'd several times. He got shot several times.
Point blank.
He looked pretty dead. Like he was like, okay, like because his body or whatever
Freddy Krueger.
was Freddy Krueger, yeah, and then like just burning to a crisp on the ground. So I don't even know like if it was his consciousness that survived because his body sure as hell didn't survive. So like what was it that actually survived?
Well, he crawled away, right?
But they told
his
us.
body did make it.
They told us though in episode 1 of season 4, in a way, remember when Eddie was describing Vecna with that and Dustin, they were saying he's undead. I went back and looked at my D&D books. Basically, you can't kill Vecna. It's like undead. You can send them away to other. You can send them to dimensions and other crap. If they're following that, then it's someone who they could use. Like, hey, they're grown up. It's after college. They got families. Let's do another sequel.
I'm also already tired of 11 raises her hand and screams and the bad guy explodes.
No, both hands. It's the one hand, then she goes with the second hand. She means business. She means business.
And blood runs from both sides. Both.
I was kind of hoping they wouldn't. That they would. What I wanted from this ending, by the way, was that they would do all of their plans the way they always do them, and then they fail. And they almost did that, but then she gets a speech from Mike about love, and she's able to win. But and I was just like,
he's the
heart. He's the heart.
Yeah, the heart.
I was just like, oh man, that's not. You guys are gonna come up with something new. It's always just someone saying something or the right memory being remembered. I was like, gotta bring in some. I thought that what they were gonna do, because it was foreshadowed by the D&D game, was that Dustin rolled an 11, which seems pretty on purpose, and Eddie's like, no, 11's not enough, and then Erica rolls a crit hit, which would mean, I thought, that Erica would do something small, which allowed something else to happen, which allowed something else to happen, which allowed something big to happen. That she was going to be the reason, the one cog in the machine that had something happen that would lead to like a chain reaction that allowed 11 to
like a hair in the dam kind of thing that like causes it to break.
Yeah, but looking back, I assume now that either that's going to be the payoff in season 5 that Erica does like that and it draws all the way back, or that was a subversion, that Erica looks like she might be the one to save Max, but she can't get through the locked door until it's too late. I don't know if that's what they were going for or not exactly.
Oh, okay.
What about I'm sorry.
God, you're good.
Well, what do you think about the sisters? We have forgotten the sisters. You think they're going to bring them in? Like they're going to need their help to save Hawkins? Elves.
Oh, right. I thought they were burying them.
Right.
I don't know. I was like, how are they going to fight it? What are they going to do next? Because again, she's got no more limbs. I guess she could put her feet up.
That's what I was kind of talking about with Mueller and Scott behind the scenes before we started the show, is that I'm wondering if they're going to circle back to that whole thing in season 5, because they're going to need all hands on deck now that, well, first of all, it's the 5th season. There has to be some point to that whole fucking episode.
Because we never heard of him again.
Yeah, like never heard of him again. And now they can like use all the help they can get. So I figured
one of the reasons she's not been in it is one of the things I appreciate about the Duffer Brothers. Like the fans hated that episode and hated her storyline. And they really listened and were just like, bye. Like they dropped it. And I don't think they're ever going back to it.
Okay, then if they listened to them there, do you think, and I truly don't know the answer, did they have enough time between them putting out the beginning of this season and then just the other day to reshoot Eddie or just make it not obvious he died? Like just something they could have edited a little bit to make sure.
No, he died.
And again,
he died.
He died.
Stop it.
Who are
They
you talking about?
They
Papa?
did that so
No,
people
Eddie.
couldn't fuss. They didn't
Eddie,
kill
Eddie.
anyone. That's what they did. I'm telling you what happened.
Well,
Yeah.
I think you're
Well, I
absolutely
mean,
right.
I think they could have made it more clear by showing his body disintegrating or something like that. But
Why
You
would
mean
they
Eddie?
I don't know.
disintegrate?
That would still
Yeah,
have
but
felt-
he's not.
He's human.
Yeah.
Well, no,
yeah.
but like into the crack too. That Jason, he was burnt in half, dude. That was awesome.
Well,
We'll
here's
get
the
to Jason
question.
in a sec. Just real quick, because what was being said about the Duffer Brothers, I actually think that it's both a credit to them and a huge flaw that they react to what fans want. I assume you guys may be fully aware, or at least vaguely aware. This is something I noticed in the content, and then searched for like if this was true in meta. Season 1, Bob gets annihilated by a Demogorgon, and Nancy cares about it sort of briefly, and then as the season progresses, she's kind of sad about it. And that's kind of it. The town doesn't seem to give a shit about Bob, and her parents never show up in the plot line. It's weird. The fans were like, what's that about? Why? People liked Bob. I thought she was fine, but a lot of people like Bob, so they started complaining. They're like, hey, Bob didn't get her due in the same way that Eddie didn't quite get her due. They're like, Bob didn't get her due. What the fuck's going on? Season 2, they overcorrect hard, and I consider it embarrassing. The plot line is jump-started by Nancy going through extreme depression of how she feels responsible for Bob's death. It ruins her relationship with Steve. She goes on an investigative plot line to get justice for Bob. The final episode is this huge scene where the TV is like, Barbara was murdered because she got involved in the toxins related to this company. They have been subpoenaed. They're going to go down. There's this new funeral for Bob. Everyone's like, Bob, you're a fucking legend, Bob. What's going on? They have trouble sometimes, I think, being like, this is what you want, right? It's like,
yeah.
Maybe they're following like kind of like Friday 13th plot line, you know, oh, where's so-and-so? Then you find him dead, and it's like, okay, we got to move on to the next one.
I don't think anyone had a problem with necessarily with Eddie dying. We just all had a problem with the fact that he literally got no acknowledgement from the group.
He's I respect the arc.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Respect the arc, and we were left the people of the town are left thinking he's a demonic cult leader that was bringing.
None of them even try to fight that. Steve or Nancy or
nobody,
the lesbian. Robin, you know that one.
Peanut
butter jelly sandwich.
That actually raises a second point. How come none of them have been taken? The world is certain that the Hellfire team were responsible for this. Right. All of them are part of the Hellfire squad. Like, what? Shouldn't they be arrested, interrogated?
Well,
are they going to be hunted down?
Yeah, but wait a minute. You got Hopper though. Remember they said he's the town hero and he was the sheriff. He's going to go back in there.
He wasn't back yet.
He wasn't back at that point. Even if you wanted
to use that as an explanation, they should be advocating on behalf of Eddie. They should be like, Eddie's not the fucking leader. He didn't do this. Like, you're all wrong.
Yeah, it really helps that just to his uncle, hey, by the way, Eddie wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Didn't tell anyone. Shh.
Eddie was a hero, by the way.
I thought it was incredibly touching that the uncle is replacing vandalized signs. I thought that was just wonderful. But then at the same time, I was like, fucking town. They still think he's the cult leader. Thanks, guys.
It was on the TV. I'd be calling in, calling into the TV station and being like, "No, this dude's a hero. He saved my life."
The town was evacuating.
The town was a target, and the town would go after them. They would end up in jail.
They should already be in jail if
that's
how it works.
Technically,
that's the thing. You got to commit to one or the other. Either the Hellfire Club is so hated that a lot of them are under investigation, or the people admit we don't fucking know what's going on. A guy over there, the jock guy, he told us that it was you guys. Yeah. Okay. And he's gone mysteriously missing. So
he's also the one that told you to go against the sheriff. He went into a meeting and was like, we're going to hunt these people down and kill them. Take that guy's point of view, or the kids that actually tried to save the town. It aggravated the shit out of me.
Well, here's a question. Is Eleven's mother still alive? I can't remember from the last couple seasons.
Well, she's
in that state. Right, that much, but she's in that seat because I'm wondering, since they killed off, Papa, I wonder if they bring her back.
Maybe
for season 5, because I'm trying to think who's going to help her. If they're not going to bring back
the other doctor,
since we all hated it. No, I know, but I'm talking about power levels. You see, since they killed the father figure, they have Hopper now as her father. But I'm talking about from that part of her life. So I figured maybe they bring her mother somehow. She gets out of the.
I don't know. I think next season will truly be 11 versus Vecna. Like, basically, it's all or nothing for the
They're gonna
upside
put
down.
their hands
Hawkins.
up, and they're both going to yell at each other, and one of them explodes.
Whoever gets the second hand up first
Just a lot
wins.
of
Quick draw.
By the way,
Oh my God.
to push us a little over to good old Jason, I actually, we could talk about how the world feels about him, how we feel, but a suggestion for an alternate timeline might have been neat if he was chasing the team from the gun store. He sees that they drop him off at the spooky house, but he continues following the caravan, stays on him, goes into it when they seem to have disappeared, sees there's this big spooky light, and he's like, well, this must be where they went, I guess, follows it through, then ends up seeing Eddie like run and fight from these bat things, doing his best to do, and actually maybe even helps him. Eddie ends up dying.
Didn't we say that, Nina? We said that.
I literally was thinking that too. Like, I was like, dude.
Imagine as part of the aftermath, Jason is on TV advocating that Eddie was not responsible for this.
Right.
Exactly. Because that was such a missed opportunity. I was thinking the whole time, like, all these dudes needed to do was show this guy that there's literally a fucking portal, like, in that.
Take him to the look, there's a bug zapper with no plug-in. That bug zapper is just working by itself. Can you look at that? Please take a second. Like, he's like, undo that to Max. I'm like, there is so much shit going on around you. I know we're in the spooky house, but like, I could show you. Watch this bug zapper not working over here, working over like that dude annoyed the shit out of me.
Or just taking him to the fucking trailer park and throw him into the fucking upside down and be like, "Yo, this is where we're going to fight shit."
He believes it's all satanic and demons and stuff. If you show him those bats, you could be like,
he's gonna believe it.
Look, I'm fighting the demons. You gonna join me or not?
Yes.
Like that sort of thing. I think that would get him on your team pretty quick.
Yeah.
And that dude was that dude was itching to kill some shit. So let him let him go kill some fucking
shooting bats left
down
and right.
shit.
And you have that moment where he's getting attacked by bats and Eddie saves him and
Oh,
he realizes
yeah, that'd have been good.
he's like, "Oh shit, you're not a
And
bad
that's
guy."
how
He's like, "No."
you
I
know,
use him as bait.
Imagine he heard Eddie dedicate the song to Chrissy.
Right.
That would be meaningful.
Man,
I mean,
that would've been so cool.
Lucas did drop the ball when he was like, she was buying drugs. It's like, dude, like,
that is not what you want.
I thought he was gonna get shot right there.
I know.
That would have been awesome.
I was watching the episode with Jay, and you know when he's like, "Get her out of this trance right now." Jay was just like, "Just say it'll kill her to do that. Just say that. Just say that. It'll be fine. Just say it'll kill her." And Lucas was like, "I can't." And it's like, don't say that. It makes you sound like a creepy psycho.
Yeah, can't or won't. That's what he's thinking.
Yeah.
You know?
Which, by the way, brings us on to the topic of how bad was Jason? Question mark.
Okay.
He wasn't bad.
Hold that thought,
Okay.
everybody. Let me just really quickly read these super chats. Thank you, Andy, for the super sticker. The Uber Geek for 2 says, "Why are all the Russians called Yuri in these things?"
Because it's the 80s.
It's the 80s, and also it's like, you know, the American thing. Like, you know, all Russians are named Yuri somehow.
They all drink vodka.
Yeah, they drink vodka. 200 Watt Studios for 2 says, "Nina, good to see you better. Thank you." And for another 2 says, "Turtle teasing tickles for the 3 ladies." That's nice. Thank you.
What?
200 Watt Studios. Don't worry about it, Scott.
Okay, I'm out.
Don't worry about it.
Tickles. Interesting.
And wait, yeah. Okay, so
I agree.
let's talk about Jason.
Okay.
Because I feel like Jason was completely misunderstood. I thought that he was a good guy. Like, I thought he was a good boyfriend. He hated that his girlfriend was, you know, brutally murdered.
Ritual
He thought this
sacrifice by the looks of things.
He's
Right,
also a dumb shit, though. You know, his thought immediately was like, "Oh,
Dumb
D&D."
jock.
He was a dumb jock.
I know,
Hey,
but he was
that's
like D&D.
prejudiced.
Satan. I mean, I am prejudiced against
It
dummies.
was on 60 Minutes.
It was
I
on
was actually
Time
going to say,
magazine.
unfortunately, this is precedent for this in real life.
I know. Believe me, my mother was like, "You cannot worship Satan." I'm like, "Mom, it's a book." when that 60 Minutes piece came out. No, I know.
So
But the fact that he went from 0 to 1,000, I know they're trying to show us, you know, that's how people react, and they wanted to hype that up. But I felt it was, after a point, it was just bloodlust.
no,
Combined with fear.
the best part was in the last episode. when he said the worst thing he could say is she went to buy drugs and she needed to talk and they just talked, and that's where you saw it. He was like, she would have came to me. Like, I felt him in that moment. Like, if there was really something bad going on, you're all lying to me because she would have came to me. I'm her boyfriend. We were going to get married after this. I was going to go to college. He was ready to live that American dream with her. I hated him so much in this show, but I understood him. That goes to the actor. Like, oh God, I wanted to punch him in the mouth, but he played that role really well. He played no, this was my girlfriend. She would never go to that scumbag and talk to him. Not even about the buying drugs. It was the
that's the part that I'm saying. That's the dumb job.
It seemed obsessive and controlling.
No,
and it made him more.
I disagree, Jane, and I'm going to come over. Oh no, no, it wasn't that. It was he thought he knew her, and you're trying to tell me something different, and it broke. If he believes that, it's going to break all of like his.
You mean his mental image of everything that's going on?
His image of the girl he just lost brutally, like killed.
But that makes it worse because now everything he does after that is about him, not about her.
I can agree with you on that. I'm just saying from his point of view, he played it well.
I don't know. To be fair, he's there to save Max's life.
Yes, Jane.
This is the problem. I think that the show has told us a series of events, and everyone only sees it from one point of view. But this is a guy who believes that they are worshiping Satan and killing people in ritual sacrifices that involve magic, with Satan possessing Eddie and others to do. Then he sees that happen with Patrick, and it's horrifying. I believe at that point, if I saw that and everyone would have been talking about Satan, and I've been brought up to believe that Satan is an actual, I'd be like, yes, this is Satan, obviously. Yeah. And then he catches him, he goes into the house. Max looks like she's being sacrificed.
Max literally looked like she was possessed or some shit.
Yeah, and then he's got the gun. He doesn't fire. He points it and he's like, save her, stop this. Like, he's a hero in anyone else's film. Like, I'm sorry.
Exactly. Like, he was trying to save her. Like, I feel like, dude.
I will agree that he's unhinged to a degree, and he's got like the red in his eyes, but the man is desperate, okay? He doesn't understand what's happening.
I think it's the way he presents it.
Fear. I hear what you're saying. I feel it's like fear combined with.
It's not
but
fear.
But this is your friend too. Why not ask questions?
Okay, you just saw your best friend in basketball floating in the air in a lake,
but
and his fucking arms all cracking.
But he didn't think. He didn't think.
What are you going to think about? I'm going to shoot that devil worshiper who I thought was a devil worshiper.
Nobody gives him a better story. All he's got to work with is Eddie was there when both of these happened.
You're all Monday morning quarterbacking this. Like, I would have took the time to talk to Eddie.
I would kill that son of a bitch. I'd be like, you guys are all fucking dead.
I'm Team Jason all of a sudden. Shit.
You certain fucking Satan worshipping assholes. I'm gonna fucking see. The thing is that whole group is like literally like been like dealing with the upside down, so they just assume that everybody else is like knows what the upside down is. It's like, no, man. Like, some people think like this is, you know, that they don't understand what that is, so they're not gonna like, you know, feel you when you're like, okay, this is like a demon world, it's another dimension. It's like, no, they're gonna think that you're fucking, you know, devil worshipping and you're killing this person here.
As smart ass as I was when I was a teenager, if he had talked like that, I'd been like, yep, devil's next door. You want to watch us like light him up and bring him here and we'll roast some marshmallows?
But George, he just like, I get what you're saying, but this man literally
he's
trying to be the all-American, and then and
all-American heroes typically think a little bit.
You just saw he's 17 and just saw his best friend rise out of the water like Messiah with his arms out, but then breaks.
I'm giving you that. I'm talking about afterwards. Okay, he's freaked out, but he didn't go talk. Like, I would have gone to a priest.
Yeah, the priest would have said, "Kill everybody."
Wait, hang on,
Dude,
Jane.
He's going
what'd you say?
Doomslayer mode. He's going to kill the demons himself. All right.
Do anything.
I would even go as far as saying, if Lucas had said all you have to do to save Max is put her headphones on and play the Kate Bush song, I have a feeling that
he would have tried.
That Jason would have been like, okay, do it.
Yeah.
Except he stepped on the fucking thing.
Right.
But he wasn't told. He never
wasn't told.
But that's what I'm saying. He wasn't thinking.
How is he going to know that that's what needs to be done?
No, but he was getting in the way.
He wouldn't have believed him.
He
would have
that's not. We can't claim that.
We don't know that.
Lucas doesn't tell him shit. That's the problem.
I can't. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's-
Let me put my gun away and walk away.
Lucas is terrified. You think about it. Lucas is terrified also to tell him. Like, what do I tell the guy? Well, there's this thing that looks like a demon, which is from this other world, which is where you'll look like hell.
Go for it. He already thinks you're possessed by a demon, so
Yeah.
you may as well give him the truth.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what, bro? You're actually kind of right.
Yes.
Like, the devil is fucking doing shit,
But
the
we're
devil's
fighting.
name is
We're
Vecna.
trying to stop
We're
him,
trying
yeah.
to kill it. Like, you don't want to help us?
You're asking him to think, but Lucas should have thought. I've been dealing with this shit for years. I'm a veteran. And all he can come out with is, I can't. And what is he supposed to do? Put his gun back in his holster and be like, you know what? I screwed up. I'll talk to
I
you
know,
later.
dude, that was such a Jon Snow moment with like the whole like, I don't want it. It's like, dude, nah.
If you remove all context and drop me into that house with a revolver, I think my first assumption would be Lucas is casting some kind of spell on this girl. I don't know what else. There's a lot of things it could be, but that seems the most likely.
Not even into that house. Drop me into the beginning of this season and I'm following Jason's path. I still think they're trying to kill because no one's giving him a straight answer. They're just like they
You think they're afraid of him a little bit too?
Not even. Well,
he's walking around with a gun. A lot of
I
people
would be too. I would be
told
too.
the sheriff that we're going to take care. Remember, he's starting a mob. Mobs don't think.
Yes.
I mean, think about that.
Or he's starting a rebellion against demons. Like he's starting, a Christian. What do you call that goddamn thing? I can't think of the word now. But he like literally thought he was doing the work of God. Okay, the way the actor played it, he looked nuts.
Crusade?
He looked crazy.
You mean a crusade?
Yes, a crusade. Thank you. He was a crusader. He lost his woman to Satan worshiper. That's what he was pretty much told. Then he sees that Satan worshiper with his best friend, and his best friend gets broken in half and murdered. And then the only thing you could tell him is, I can't get this girl out of the same goddamn trance that's gonna be broken and he still didn't fire on him. He is a goddamn hero. And he's a saint. And George, I'm disgusted with you right now.
I'm with you, Scott. I'm with you. Scott and I don't agree on much.
No, we don't.
Agree on this.
I'm with you.
About the whole he still believed the cult summoned Vecna. It's just like, I'm serious. All Lucas had to do is say, I could save her with the music, and Jason would have been like, do it. And that's
I
it.
agree with you. I agree with you there. I agree with you there.
I don't, from what I saw of him throughout the season, I don't believe he'd be like, oh yeah, the musical saver, will it? And then he crushes the tape. I don't see that happening.
No, I don't see it either.
He didn't believe the drugs part.
Right.
Because he doesn't want to believe
because he thinks it's out of character for his girlfriend.
For her to not want to go to him.
This demon worshiper's telling me my girlfriend took drugs.
All we got to do is let's put it this way.
Saver? That makes sense.
Let's put it this way. We remember summer of 2020. All those people who are rioting.
Yeah.
You think if you had told them, well, actually, when a lot of people tried, this actually didn't happen. They just said, you're an ist or you're a phobe. Not people when they get into a certain frenzy. Stop listening. They stop thinking.
Along those same lines, I mean, you had people trying to explain what was happening in their community, and the outside didn't want to believe it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but yes and no, because if
It's
I
not
walk
easy.
into a room and there's a fucking girl like literally in a
Eyeballs
fucking
back.
exorcism trance, I'd be like,
with a bug zapper not plugged in.
Are you going to stick with that?
You're saying as well, like, he can easily believe that the music wouldn't work. It's like, yeah, but he could also easily believe it would. I don't know why we would.
or
treat
he
it
could
as though-
just maybe he wouldn't do it. Maybe he wouldn't believe it, but like really, what would it hurt to
he
try?
never was given the chance, guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
if we can,
so we should start a petition.
Because I don't want to spend too long on Jason, but the thing I really want to get to now is it seems that the room is relatively clear on how at least it's foggy with him. It's not he's a clear evil son of a bitch. He's
hang on.
elements to him.
What about you, Force of Light? What Jason, good or bad?
Well, I mean, I think you guys have argued both sides of it. It depends on from whose point of view are you looking at.
Well, what
Now
about
we're
what's your
Obi-Wan.
point of view? Do you think he's a hero that we all needed? Because I do.
Okay, I'm not going that far. But...
No pressure. There's no
Like,
pressure on you. No pressure. You just
I'm
have to
gonna be
pick which
honest, like,
side
I
you're
just
on.
didn't care enough about Jason to even have much to say about Jason.
I'm getting him tattooed on my back like
Kind of
Thor.
irrelevant to me, guys.
Justice for Jason. This is
Justice
bullshit.
for Jason.
So,
I literally didn't care about their fight. I would have been perfectly fine without that scene.
I was waiting for someone to knock him over the head.
when he stood over on the cassette, I was like, so Lucas has to go like Hulk mode now when he sees that. That's what should have happened. He only goes Hulk mode when she starts to rise in the air.
Yeah. He should have sang Kate Bush. I thought that's what he was going to try to do.
I thought they might have tried to do that.
That's what I thought too. Like, why don't you just start singing? Because, like, it's not like
because we've heard the song enough.
There was another thing too that, like, okay, the friend, like the jock friend, the one that was chasing the little
beating a little girl up.
Yeah, the dude literally like tackled her.
That's mob mentality.
That dude was evil. Okay, he can die.
That guy.
Yeah, he deserved a kick in the nuts.
So, on that thought, right? Because I checked a couple of subreddits after the episode aired. The lot of the watch party I had, we were like, Jason, he's kind of bad, but like I can understand how he got to where he is. That was the vibe we had. So when they showed him very casually getting torn in half and screaming in agony, we were just like, okay.
Yeah, and that was unnecessary.
You might, to be very clear here, someone might be like, oh, you don't like gore, and it's like, no. It's felt a little bit cruel.
Overkill.
He was incinerated in
literally overkill.
It felt weird to me as well because, like, I checked discussions on it. Everyone was so fucking happy to see that happen.
Right? No, that was overkill,
dude. Like as far as he knows, he lost, and he couldn't save the town from the cult. Like he never got to know he was wrong, and that's a big element for me with the villains getting a lot of their comeuppance, quote unquote. Is that they get to understand even vaguely what's happening because he just dies thinking like I was right and I couldn't stop him.
Right, like he lost. Right. Oh my God, that's terrible, Mauler.
It was fucking horrible. I agree.
But you do have schizophrenics think the same way. Bad guys think they're not. Yeah, the
villain. He wasn't schizophrenic. He never got a chance to understand.
You're putting your own shit on it, George. We don't know any of this. Okay, you think
that's why I opened.
I hear what you're saying.
With saying that alternate version where he fucking helps Eddie out. I way prefer that storyline.
I agree with that.
Hold on, Dr. Wolfstar. He wasn't a bully. He didn't turn into a bully.
But he was in the beginning with the basketball stuff, remember? Stay out of your lane.
He was a bully.
He was hyper competitive.
He was a bully.
He was just competitive.
Wait a minute. Not with his own teammates.
Don't you? Didn't he tell Lucas sit on the bench or do what you're supposed to do?
What
are you doing here?
He was the one that picked him up.
That's after he did the shot. I'm not talking about it.
I don't think he ever really did. I mean, he was competitive with the other team, but screw the other team.
No, not the other team. I don't care. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm talking about
go back and look.
Wasn't it like White or when they were looking for him? Why are you here?
Let's go. Let's say this then. If I will concede he was a bully, as long as we all agree. So was Steve.
Yes.
Steve was a bully in the beginning. He was absolutely.
So him being a bully doesn't condemn him to a death of.
No. You shouldn't rip him apart.
Don't forget the kids. The kids were also terrified of Eddie. They were terrified of Eddie, telling him that they couldn't make it to D&D night. Like, so come on, George.
And they didn't want to let him down. They weren't terrified of him. They didn't want to,
They didn't want to let him down because they were terrified.
They were scared to tell him. They were scared. You just you know what? I see who you are now. Okay? You're just putting your own baggage on these people. You were Eddie back in the day. So you're all
to
Mr.
be fair,
Eddie.
we're all doing that. To be fair, we're all doing that.
Playing bagpipes. I bullied with bagpipes, damn it.
I wouldn't be advocating anywhere near as much for Jason if I hadn't read so many threads going over the pleasure they had of seeing him get torn in half. I was like,
I see.
This is a bit awkward. Because I think he's over-hated because the guy didn't get a lot of chances to understand what the fuck was going on,
Are you a contrarian, Mahler? Like, if everybody goes to the left, you're like, damn it, I'm going to the right.
A little bit. I just want to level it up.
I can understand that.
I thought I was going to be like the only one who just.
I thought I was going to be the only one, Mahler. I'm so shocked that we like literally think the exact same thing because I was like, I did not like his death scene. I thought his death scene was like way overboard.
But I didn't think that he didn't know he was wrong. That blew my. That hurts.
But no villain thinks they're wrong. They all think they're the good guys.
No, plenty of bad guys die realizing this. So, like, when Palpatine dies, he knows the score. He understands it. He understands exactly what happened. He's been manipulating, screwing people over for power this whole time. Like, Jason goes down thinking he's the hero who just couldn't slay the dragon.
Right. Yeah. Like he failed. He failed everybody.
Like he was flaccid. I got you.
Oh my God.
You son of a bitch.
Wow.
Yeah, if I was to tweak it, I don't know. Obviously, the complete rewrite is what I would want, but I would just try and find a way for Jason to actually have a realization at some point, oh shit, I was wrong.
Right, even if it was at that last second. Seeing Lucas holding Max, crying, begging her to be okay, and being like, oh, maybe he did care about her. And die.
Also, I will say there was one other point where Lucas was made into a complete joke again, was that scene where they're preparing to go into battle and his sister is like, you didn't tie these hard enough. And I'm like, this dude can't do shit. He can't even make a fucking, what's it called? One of those
I genuinely
spheres.
I don't understand. It's the correct decision was the reverse. She is all talk, Erica, is the idea, okay? And Lucas can be belittled by her for that whole conversation, back and forth, and then he's like, do you need a hand with that? And then she's like, no. And she's trying to do it herself, and the knife falls off, the rope's on, and he's like, let me show you how to do this. And then she's like, I can do it. And he's like, can you let me help you? That sort of thing. And then he does it for her, and then she says, thank you. That sort of shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of making it so that why the fuck does she know how to do this better than him?
Exactly. The younger sister can tie a knot better.
Plays D&D better than him too.
Yeah, I don't know why she annoys me. I can't put my finger on her, but she just annoys me.
Because she's annoying.
You're right, Jane. You're right, Jane.
Yeah,
because Jane didn't like her from the beginning. Jane was like, no, I can't stand her. And I was like, well, I'm giving her a chance.
I thought she was the worst in season 3.
And Porcupine Face, he drives me crazy. Just I just think that's it's nothing to do with girls and guys or even Lucas and her as characters for me. It's just older sibling passing down some helpful information to the younger sibling. Give me that moment. Why would it be that she knows how to? It would have been perfect. Better. Gotcha.
It would have been even better if she kept saying no and then didn't even admit it, just passed it to him.
Yeah.
And then he fixed it. But
I think that part really bugged me because I was like, okay, so they're just making another point that Lucas is fucking retarded. And that the younger sister is stronger to even make a knot, because that requires a lot of strength to do that.
It goes with what Jane has taught me, and I've been watching now for a few years after she brought it up. Demasculate the black male. And then, the sassy black female, there's always these caricatures or these characters that they always archetypes they go to. And this was, again, that archetype. He's not manly. He's very passive. And she's more butch than him.
Yeah.
They almost
strong black woman.
Black woman. What I feel like they also did was they modeled her after certain, I'm a little bit older than some of you guys, but What's Happening, the sassy sister, that's who she was modeled after. And if you were going to go with that, I think what Mahler said would have been perfect. The brother who's not as vocal, but knows how to get it done. She never admits to it, but lets him do it. I think would have been a better way to handle that. But there's
groundwork
amazing.
For it as well. In season 1, if you remember, Lucas's thing, quote unquote, is he has survival gear.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. You're right.
So it's use that. Let him be the one on the team that's I actually know how to survive in the wilderness.
The slingshot.
I know, right? But he's older now, so his dad taught him how to fashion a makeshift spear or whatever, just as a survival tip. It's why not? Yeah, do that.
Yeah,
they're preppers.
But this is why I think we all kind of have a problem, especially Jane and I have a problem with Erica, is because it's almost as if Erica was set up to be that the bestest ever girl. She's just better than everybody, and there's absolutely no reason for it whatsoever. It's just she just turns out to be the bestest ever at everything, and it's annoying when there's a character like that.
Wasn't she the one who was, if I remember correctly, the one who they had to use to break into the mall under the Russian base?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you're gonna side with her too, Scott. I see.
Look, we don't talk about season 3.
Oh my God. Real quick though, Force of Light, thank you so much for being here today. I know you said you have to leave soon, so if you want to give us your final thoughts and also tell us your theory for next season before you leave, please.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. I've had a fun talk with you all. Let's see, my final thoughts. I really enjoyed this season. I thought this was the best season since season 1. I thought it was excellent. Really enjoyed really just the whole thing. Thought it was great. And again, I definitely think it's kind of Empire Strikes Back. So I just kind of expect a Return of the Jedi type situation in the next one. I mean, they're going to win, and the main characters aren't going to die, people.
Really?
That's how it used to be. I like that.
Hold on, not even one? You don't think any one of the main characters is going to die for the final season?
Like, surely Hopper dies in the last season, right?
It's gotta be something.
It's gotta end
no
like
parents.
if they go with the 80s,
I'm
I think
with you
they're
now.
not.
Again,
If they go with sorry.
think Star Wars, think Goonies. That's just kind of what I'm saying here.
I agree.
I just don't think they could. They could.
Yoda died.
Yoda did die.
Was he a main character though? He wasn't a main character.
Hey, Yoda's like an Eddie. They bring you in, make you love him, let him die.
He had 2 movies. Eddie had 1 season.
I do love Eddie.
You had Billy in 2 seasons.
Eddie had probably more screen time if you think about it.
Oh my God.
That's true. That is true.
But Yoda didn't really die.
I'm
really
just bringing up the
appreciate it.
main crew in Star Wars from the beginning makes it to the very end through very dire situations, including Lando.
Yeah,
I just think that's what I just think that's what the Duffer Brothers are gonna do at this point.
I mean, in Star Wars, they lose limbs a lot, but no one dies. Okay, so maybe somebody's gonna lose a limb.
They killed Han, Luke, and fucking Leia in the sequels.
Do we have to go?
Hey, we're not talking about Disney Star Wars. We're talking about Star Wars.
And they killed him in a worse way. I'm with Force of Light. They're not going to kill him. I just hope Porcupine goes. As long as Porcupine, I'll be happy.
I want them
I
to
want
kill
to feel
Mike.
like people can die in this universe when they have more screen time than 1 season. Please.
Maybe, and I still think they're bringing Eddie
They'll kill
back.
Robin. Do you think they could kill Robin?
Hold on.
No, they won't kill Robin ever.
No, she's the
for obvious
lesbian,
reasons.
Scott. There's no
They
way
will
they're
never
gonna
kill
kill
Robin.
her.
How about Will? Will. I can't stand Will. Will?
No, because he's the one that they saved first. They're not gonna kill the
They
guy
need
that
to
they
put him
saved.
out of his
But
misery,
he's
though.
boring as hell.
Jane. Jesus Christ.
I
can't
think
stand
Hopper's
Will.
the one with the most likely death mark on him.
But
no,
you think they're going to
Mahler,
leave
no,
her without a
because
dad?
They already fake death him like twice.
They
They're not
fake
gonna.
death
They're not
all of
gonna
them.
kill him off.
They could leave him without a dad. They always do.
Oh damn. Okay. Well,
Not in
thank
the
you so
80s.
much for joining us.
You're amazing.
Everybody subscribe to Force of Light, and the links are in the description down below. So thank you again for being here, and you're lovely as always.
Oh,
Amazing.
you too.
Great to see you.
Yeah, I had to think of you because they said that Ninas are like small little women, and I was like, I could see Nina being that description, a petite woman.
Oh my God, yes, that was my favorite part when that guy was like, Nina.
But you guys have a fun rest of your chat.
Thank you. See you
you.
later.
Boy.
Bye.
Oh my God, you guys. She brought it up, but like, I'm not even joking. Like, I love that part where that guy's just like walking around the desert, like screaming out my name. I was like, this is my
Oh, I
favorite
totally
season.
forgot about the stoner doing that. You're right.
It
What was
so
his
great.
name? He just annoyed me. What was
Stoner.
he?
Argyle.
Argyle. Yes, correct.
Oh.
God, I used to work.
So before we
Argyle.
came on, I absolutely, for some reason in the back of my head, because I wanted Eddie not to die, and she was bringing up Yoda, I seriously said he'll come back as a Force ghost to help.
Yeah, you will.
You
I
know,
just
like
think he's
somewhere at
coming
the end to
back
lead
somewhere.
them.
I don't
I
think they
just-
need to bring him back. It's
No, I don't think they need
I
to, but
know
I have
they
a
won't.
feeling they will.
You know what?
I don't
They
trust
will
them.
bring. They will bring him back, but they're going to bring him back in the way that they brought back Barb, like
Right,
in a
like-
nightmare form.
Probably,
like, you know,
yeah.
for
Dude, it could be for
Buddy.
Dustin.
For
That's what they do
Dustin,
that for,
that's right.
yeah.
For
Okay.
Dustin, because he died in his
would be
arms and
cruel.
everything like
I
that.
would
So I
hate
think they're
that.
gonna bring him back in that nightmare form.
It's interesting because, like I said, I do like the arc, and I think the death scene was fantastic.
It
The actor
was.
fucking nailed
Oh
it.
my God.
But it's so potent for storytelling that
Right.
I think they should have done what I mean, a classic example. I don't know if you guys have seen the show or not, but in Buffy, right?
Yeah, of course.
Season 1 is kind of it's not so great. Season
finding
2,
its way.
Season 2, they realized what they had was a dead master that they might be able to bring back, but he's a little bit wooden. They have the what was the kid called? Like the prophety one. What do you guys remember? It's like this little kid who the master tried to bring in as a bad guy.
I know what you're talking about. I just
someone in chat's gonna remind me.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Somebody in the chat will know, I'm sure.
Didn't they reference that also in Angel, the series?
They little kid?
I thought they did in one flashback.
Not the little kid.
I thought it was a flashback.
The anointed one.
That's it. The anointed one. Yes. And a bunch of vampires worship him. And they bring all this over to season 2, which is a season where they try and bump everything up. And you can tell the writing team is like, this is not working. This kid, this is not working. They bring in Spike. And Spike.
Yeah.
Spike spends a whole episode fucking around with all the heroes directly, personally. And if you remember the big finale, he's almost killed Buffy, but then her mum hits him on the back of the head with an axe, and he's so baffled by the scenario that he's like, I'm out. Fuck this. It's funny as fuck. He does amazing. And the best part is he's being told by the Anointed One, you failed, you suck, you owe me. And then he just goes, fuck you, and burns him. It's great. And to me, it was always one of the most blatant examples of, look, we're changing it. We don't like this bad guy. We're getting a new one. And Spike was supposed to just take care of the first half of season 2 while Angelus takes care of the second half. But Spike was so fucking popular. They were like, I don't want to kill him. Yeah. We should keep him. And I wish they had realized this with Eddie. It's not that the arc wasn't great. It really was. But you got another season. Let's use him. He has chemistry with literally everyone.
Everybody. He's brilliant.
Yeah. If you kill him in the final season, you're still gonna pull at those heartstrings. But it would kind of make sense because it's like the finality of it all. Especially if you're keeping season 5 the final season.
You can create the same payoff that he dies because he's the only one that he thinks can hold back a storm, and he's like, I'm not gonna run. You can create the same payoff, but then at the same time, you get a few more opportunities to bring in some metal as well, which fuck me, this show has been missing metal. Yes. How can you set it during the 80s and not take advantage of heavy fucking metal? It's
you know what though? I will say this. If there's going to be a time jump, I have a feeling that next season we're gonna see that metal head become
Grunge?
Dustin. I think Dustin's gonna take up the mantle of the metal in Eddie's name, I could see it. I could see him becoming a metalhead for that.
I would feel a lot better about the way that they handled Eddie if we get a decent amount of Dustin sort of taking on elements of Eddie going forward.
Right. I agree.
I don't want to get too obvious with this, but if Dustin got attacked by Vecna because he's so depressed about Eddie having died, and a metal song brings him out of that, there's a lot you can do there.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Because I will say, this is the thing. I think season 1's better than season 4. However, my top two favorite moments of this show entirely is Eddie playing Master of Puppets and Max escaping Vecna's nightmare in episode 4. Those two scenes are amazing.
Same here, Mauler. Same here. That and that native dude walking around calling my name in the desert. The best thing ever. But
his death scene was brilliant too.
Yeah.
Did any of y'all think that part 1, 8 was slower than 9? I mean, just nothing.
But yes.
It was dragging for. It was dragging for me. It was dragging for me. Yeah.
Oof. I was like, man, I don't know. I don't know what you could have done, but just that whole episode, I was like, man, that was so boring. And then I felt that even the last episode at the beginning a little bit. I was like, let's go. You guys are prepared now. Why aren't they fucking in the upside down already? I feel like it dragged on forever.
It was the majority of the last 2 episodes was them setting it up, and it was freaking boring, man.
That's
it really
right.
was.
I think they took a little too long. Because when that teaser trailery type thing, me and my friends were like, oh, okay, so 11 will get to a full power, and the government will come in and it'll all blow up. She'll end up back in Hawkins. Okay. Yep. And it's what do you think the rest? The plan looks like they're going to have to get into Vecna's house. It's covered up by bats. So it looks like Eddie's going to have to play a song, and then they'll attack him directly. Nancy's got a shotgun. It's like, okay, yeah. And I remember saying to my friends, this fight look back on, I was like, maybe they'll trick us, and this will all happen in episode 8. And there's a whole set of footage from episode 9 we haven't even seen about a final fight.
That's what I was hoping.
And then we finished episode 8. And I was like, okay. that wasn't really anything yet.
Yeah.
I appreciate like some of the character building scenes.
Yes.
I really like the fact that they're trying to figure out how to bait Vecna, and Max steps up knowing that this is horrifying.
Right.
Yeah.
And I also thought that I absolutely love the fact that they mirrored her speech to Billy at the graveyard to her basically like sharing her quote unquote darker sort of thoughts. And it's how to get into the feeling of the despair. And then as soon as she actually gets there, Vecna starts using Lucas to push her even further, which I thought was great.
That was
Mahler,
dark.
I didn't like that scene because like the part where she's sitting there and she's talking to Vecna to like try and convince him to do it. I was literally sitting there being like, is this fucking for real right now? Is this like therapy time with Vecna? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I wanted it to like, let's go. Like, I didn't want it to be like, I didn't like the mirror scene. Like,
she's
I was like,
come get me, you know, come get. And no, it's not working until she starts being a little more honest about her darker feeling. I thought it was actually pretty good because she talks about how a lot of the stuff that Billy said to her in her nightmare sequence was true to a degree. And the part where she says like it wasn't just that he was too far away or it was too quick. Part of me kind of wanted it to just happen. Did he? And when she said,
but he already knew that. He knows that.
It wasn't what she was saying. It was the emotion.
But she didn't know it. Like she didn't admit it to herself. Yeah.
Like I genuinely think what's happening there is that she's indulging in the darker thoughts that she has because she has to get into a mental space where she could actually be killed by him. If she's just sitting there going, fuck you, Vecna, come get me, her walls are still up. But if she starts saying, I didn't
you gotta bait herself. Like,
yeah. If she said, I didn't know if he deserved to be saved, I was actually like, damn, girl, is that true?
Right. So it's like what you're saying is she had to kind of turn herself to be true bait. Like, put herself out there.
And funnily enough, my friends, when they were watching it, they thought Lucas was trying to help, quote unquote, by saying like, you're a horrible person, blah, blah, blah. And we were like, no, I think she's actually in the upside downy nightmare version already. And then Lucas's eyes went all funny. He was like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, there you go.
I was like, oh my God, it's like totally Vecna. But at the same time, I was kind of like hoping that he would be a fucking badass and actually tell her off.
She had to be an open, like, that's what I took it as. She had to be in like an open nerve. Like she had to be vulnerable because he only went after people that were in that mode. The guidance counselor, just not willing to go on anymore.
For a
knowing
really
that
brief
he's right.
moment, though, Scott. For a really brief moment, I thought Lucas was actually like, "Man, you're such a psycho bitch. I fucking don't like you anymore." I was like, "Okay."
Well, I could see it. I mean, she is like, "I want my brother dead."
Yeah,
that he's like,
go too fast.
Does he say like, "Do you often want people to just die?" Like, what the fuck? Which it's kind of funny.
That's not normal. Like,
do you realize how that's not normal?
You're a psycho, lady. That was good. I like the actress who plays Max. I think in like the lighter moments, I don't like her as much because she always just looks to the side when she's like, but like in those darker, rougher moments, I think she does a good job.
I literally could never stand that character. I wanted her dead.
Thank you, Jane.
Okay.
You hate Ginger.
Me and Jane.
Jane, like, to be fair, Jane's also wanted the little black girl dead. So it's not,
it's consistent. She wants to see the dead. Okay. But I was just saying, I kind of agree, right? Because I didn't remember her when I started watching season 4. I couldn't remember what her character even was. Right. Now that I've rewatched season 2 and 3, it's funny. She's a different character in season 2 and 3 and 4. She's a different. In season 2, she's this angry, abused, annoyed, and smug as fuck character that doesn't have time for anybody. But at the same time is deathly interested in what the kids are up to. So she's like, oh, okay. And then she, right at the end of it, is like, do you guys remember when she's like, hello, 11, I'm Max, and 11 just walks past her because she thinks that she's like cheating on Mike with it. It's all really shitty children politics. And I was just like, yeah, okay, so that's it for Max then.
But it's that gossip hour.
Yeah, season 3, if you remember, 11 comes to her when Mike lies about his nan being ill, and
that's when she pissed me off.
Yeah, Max convinces 11 to fucking dump him, and they go on like really fun adventures at the mall.
But just like a chick.
Max is like hyper happy and joyful and doing all these fun. And I was like, what the fuck? You weren't like this at all.
Because she derived pleasure.
Maybe she's a
On
lesbian.
drugs?
Well,
Like,
so
what happened?
I guess what I'm getting at is like I feel like Max in season 2 was someone I didn't like and didn't understand. Season 3, different character that I don't like. Season 4, she's dealing with the death of her brother and how responsible she may be for it, and she's constantly haunted by dark thoughts that have led to her isolating herself from people. I was like, okay, I can
like
get behind this. This is
I like this Max. Yeah, like she was willing
because
to
she
take
was
one.
selfless.
Well, she was willing to die for the team. Like,
Right,
no,
selfless.
I am going to probably die. Yes, selfless. Exactly.
That's why I couldn't stand her. I didn't like her from the very moment she did pitted 11 against. I was like,
So
fuck
what do you
her.
think? Like, Mo-
because that's right. She's been petty this entire time. Like I don't understand.
Because she's
at
a
what point she
12-year-old girl
changed.
in most of it. You were all the same.
Wow.
So what do you guys
Sorry,
think is going to happen to her? Like you.
They're gonna bring her
so I know
back.
George said that they're going to somehow bring her back, like as Vecna's.
That's what I think.
Is that what you think, Scott? Okay.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That's what I said. It wasn't.
All right.
I thought maybe 11 gave her some of her power. That's what I thought.
I think
Yeah.
she's the personal investment for beating Vector in the finale. She'll be in her coma throughout the season until she comes back as a big payoff at the end of it.
I can see that.
Crying and being like, "You're finally back," and she's like,
Right.
"I was so lost, and you brought me back." And I'm just gonna be sitting there frowning, like,
Yeah.
you should be dead, bitch."
All right. So
do you think Mike is going to be the one that brings her back because he's the heart?
Oh,
What you gonna do the Sleeping Beauty thing and kiss her? No.
But she's
you're
not
the heart,
there, though.
man. You're
Yeah.
the heart.
Well, let me ask a question.
That is so
So-
time banded and Goonies.
The thing
Do you know
is,
what it,
they're
do
gonna
you know what
have
it's actually? Sorry, I'll be as quick as I can. That's 1-to-1 with Avengers: Age of Ultron. Do you guys remember when it was fucking Hawkeye's wife who said, "You're the heart of the team"?
Oh God!
Yes.
Yes.
It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, he's not. That's not true at all.
He's the guy who has to run to the job when everybody's already there with his like bow and arrow. Yeah,
I'm here, guys. I'm here, guys.
yeah, I'm not gonna make it. But George, you think that she's actually gonna come back? May come back with powers?
I don't know. That's just that's
No,
what
that
I
was
thought.
interesting. I just think she's gonna be the vessel, and no one's gonna want to hurt her.
But where's
Like-
her consciousness gone?
That's the whole
not
thing.
right.
Prisoner. I could see her being a prisoner.
Kind of like what Nina says. Maybe she's deep within her own subconscious, skateboarding as a
Because
5-year-old.
she went
You
in,
know, we see
like
it.
when
It's
when
there's
11
nothing
went
there.
into like the mind or
Spooky
whatever.
mindset.
Okay.
She was in that weird black universe, right?
right.
Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, she usually sees the person in isolation, but she didn't see anything.
right.
right, and so basically, there's no consciousness. So the consciousness got to be somewhere.
To be fair, gingers don't have souls, right?
That's true. That's
That is
true.
very true.
So we need to separate those two elements out of it. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like they would have killed her if they were going to kill her. They're not going to kill her. That's obvious.
So they're gonna
I
lose
did
her.
think it was brutal though that they they broke her
Dude.
hands and
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
and-
This is the thing. That was. I'm going to spoil Angel. All right, I'm sorry, but
No, go
Seen it.
ahead.
there's
I love
a death
Angel.
scene in Angel. If any of you have seen it,
I
with,
did.
Fred, where it's basically a character who's just nice to everybody and works
Oh,
really
yeah.
hard to save lives. She gets torn down over the course of a whole episode by a disease, and she just
Mhm.
knows that she's gonna die. And she spends her last few moments in the arms of her lover, saying she doesn't want to go and why should she have to, and then dead. And then the
She
writer
comes-
has them confirm, and a couple episodes later, her fucking soul was destroyed in the fires of the spell.
I
She's
forgot about
gone.
that.
She is never coming
But they
back.
brought her. They brought the actress back, correct? If I remember correctly.
She's infected by a disease that turns her into a demon. So
Right.
she's a different character, and a very different character when she comes back.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I remember that.
it's fucking great because Fred is gone. The problem with this is the scene between Sadie Sink and I don't know the actor's name. Is it Curtis something? The guy who plays Lucas. They were phenomenally good. And the words they say, the fact that she says, "I don't want to die, I'm not
Oh,
ready."
my
Oh
God.
yeah, that's
After everything that happened in episode 4, it's actually beautiful that they've nailed this. It's a person that's come through to the other end of having suicidal thoughts, and now they've been taken because they put their life on the line to help everyone else, to save the world, and she dies. And not only did she die, she lost all feeling in all of her limbs. She couldn't see, and she's bleeding out of these, obviously the context, but it's tragic as hell. She was torn to pieces before
She
she
was.
perishes. Max
Yeah.
doesn't deserve it, but
No.
man, is that powerful narrative stuff. And then the writers were like, ooh, this is really sad. No, she's not dead. She's okay. She's gonna be okay. We're gonna get it back.
I thought,
I
I thought they were gonna like bring her back, but that she's gonna be blind. Like I thought
That's
that
what
they
I
were
did
gonna,
too at
like, you know,
first.
I thought that she was gonna be blind or something.
But then when she went into her mind and it was just darkness, Mahler, you make a valid point. It's gonna be. I hope she's the vessel, and none of them want to hurt her, and at the end they're gonna have to kill her. But they'll most likely she'll. Yeah, but she'll. I know. But it's better than like, oh my God, I'm awake. I was in such a dark place. Like that might happen, and that would make me sad.
But it would be a beautiful
I don't
death.
know.
Oh man.
I'd rather get like
I mean,
get control and be
Vecna-
like, kill me.
Yeah, but would
God, what
Vecna
movie
really
was
use
that?
like
I
such a fragile body to?
He used it as a puppet. I could see for a
Would
while.
you
the
think
kids-
he could take that body and now that it'll be something like he has to wait till like it's a certain percentage upside down in the real world before he can actually enter? That's how it's going to do the time jump. Like longer and longer, you know, it's going to take a long time for it to become the upside down in this world.
But here's the problem, though. They've already kind of dealt with that before. When you had Will, remember he had the shadow inside of him, and then they like, let's turn up the heat.
Right.
Let's get it out.
Yeah,
so
they
they've
did
done that
with Billy as
already,
well.
right? Won't they just do that again? It seems.
I don't fucking. God,
I
I don't
hope
want them
not.
to do it again.
I hope
Right,
not.
but that's what I'm saying. They've already done it twice, so it's kind of like, well, we really know what to do. So it's like, oh yeah, okay, let's get her into the sauna.
See, to me, killing her was the correct decision because
Yes.
you have that as a huge motivation for 11 going forward. I even like the idea because some people pointed out as a plot hole that 11 didn't inform Team Lenora that Max was in the situation she was. And it's like, I think that was deliberate. She feels guilty because she couldn't save her.
Right.
That combined with Max was the one at most risk for this plan with the most to lose, and they failed her. She lost everything and then died. That is such a huge motive for all of them to fucking hate Vecna. But now it's in this weird place where it's like, well, she's not quite dead.
I'm not dead yet.
It's like a General Hospital moment, soap opera moment.
I kind of really wish they had killed her because it would have
I wish
been
they
like, you
killed
know,
her.
that would have been like, you know, they would have had some balls.
Well, maybe
I think it would
go
have
ahead.
been fantastic if they'd killed her.
maybe you're looking at it the wrong way. Maybe she actually is dead. I mean, it's possible 11 tried to
That's
save her, but
what I
only to
thought.
get her body back, not her
Right.
mind, and she has to let her go.
I feel like if they were gonna kill her,
They
would
would
have been a lot more
No, they would have
straightforward than
killed
this.
her. Yeah.
Because this is a little confused. I actually, you know, I thought when she said no, I had what I think is a way better idea in my head, which is that Vecna, his whole thing was that he like absorbs these people. He refers to it as join me. It's like all that stuff. I thought that when 11 was told that by Papa, that she would try and do that with Max and basically absorb Max, what remains of Max, into herself, so that Max, in a sense, lives on through 11, sort of thing. I would have thought that'd be kind of sweet and a way to bring it so that Max isn't fully dead and narratively satisfying, sort of thing.
But
And
then
she could tell, she could tell the friends that that's the reality of the situation, but Max ultimately is gone.
Right. But then she's also in some way starting on the same path that Vecna did.
Yeah, you could even then have that be something in season 5 where Vecna says like, "Oh, so when you do it, it's okay."
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Lucas is like, what?
There was another point too where that I thought that this might happen, and it might even happen in season 5 because like it's almost as if like even though like they wanted to say that, you know, 11 had gotten her full powers back, Papa still didn't think she was ready.
She
So
wasn't strong enough.
she wasn't strong enough.
She admitted to it, didn't she?
And he said something really weird. Like he said you should be able to fly. Like and I was thinking that at some point that she's going to actually start flying because, you know, it's not that hard to imagine to use telekinesis to
move
to
yourself.
lift yourself off the
Some
ground.
Matrix.
Remember earlier in the season, she's talking about how she wants to be a superhero again.
Yeah.
They keep saying it.
Yeah. And they kind of kept saying it. So I was like, okay, when's she gonna start flying around?
Next season. She's got to get her outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
I'm thinking
Because of her
next season
power.
we're gonna see another like boost of power for 11 somehow, and then
Okay.
she's gonna start.
Do you
flying
think
around.
she'll get it by searching for, like, we'll find her a couple years later and she's always going back into Max trying to find her, but
Can't
not
be a
finding
couple
anything?
years. Can't be a couple years. I don't think they can do a big time jump, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. All right.
They
Even a
said they
couple
want
months.
to.
They want to, yeah. But even if it's only a couple months, there you can play it off. It's so simple. It's going to take a certain amount of time. Our scientists have figured out it takes this X amount of time for, the atmosphere to change and Hawkins to be like the Upside Down. He cannot survive in it till that happens. We must defeat him before he can enter our world and take it over.
But
Boom.
it's
I
happening
just
so
wrote it.
quickly, though. I mean, like, how
Yes.
much time has it been? And the entire town is already halfway there.
Couple
What's it,
little
8
flakes
hours?
of s-
What's
there
it?
was a little
No,
snow.
the flowers were all
Little
dying.
snow.
A little
Yeah.
snow.
Uh,
Asbestos, whatever it is.
But I think they're going to have to break back in, don't you? Because the military will come in, and are they going to
The
go back and grab 11? That's the
The
thing. They're gonna
entire
say,
field was dead.
Great.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
okay.
one little field.
Just one
They
little.
were
And
looking
they,
over the hill into the city.
Well, Mueller or any of you guys, do you think they're going to quarantine them in the city because they don't know what's going on? I would think the army would surround them, and whoever didn't get out is now stuck there.
Yeah, I think they're going to clear it all out. I think they're going to
Yeah,
have
I
to
think
they're
fight
just
to
gonna
get in. I think
evacuate.
they're going to have
They're
to
gonna
fight
want
to
it.
get in.
They're going to want it to be that it focuses on our characters.
Trying
Because
to get in.
I would be considering for the final season, you might want to bite the bullet and have the government be like, look, we don't think you're the bad guys. We need to plan something. And maybe even the will. So, like, let's say it takes over several states by the time we come back. That's how far it's gone. Will governments are getting involved. There's tanks and nukes are potentially being drawn up. But it's like, but our characters no. We have to get to Vecna's house. We have to bait him out this time. And they come up with an actual better plan. Let's just say that. I feel like that could work because it would make it feel a lot more grand in scale as opposed to skip forward 5 years. It's fine. It's just in Hawkins.
It's
Oh, okay.
creeping still. Like, it's like,
Really
what the fuck?
Don't worry.
Is this thing
Don't
gonna
worry.
take
It's only in
over?
Indiana too, so we really don't care. Yeah, that's true.
We're just gonna call this a write-off state.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's
I mean, it already is. It's Indiana. It's really flat.
Oh
Too
my
bad they couldn't have
God.
made it in California. No.
Well, I think this is. I mean, unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about,
I have a question. Which of these do you think actually of any of these kids will succeed in their future as actors? I'm just curious because a lot of the kids, when they do television or they do films, that pretty much their career ends after.
Oh,
They
dude,
become adults. I'm
Millie
just
Bobby
curious.
Brown is set for a while. Like she's
already been in
definitely
a bunch
gonna
of
get.
stuff. She was
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Godzilla, King of the Monsters, man. Ooh, what a
Yeah,
great
and
movie.
then the other kid, Mike, like he was in it.
Ghostbusters, Afterlife.
Yeah.
I know.
Um,
You think any of the others?
Don't forget about the New Mutants.
no.
I mean, it probably won't happen, but I feel like the guy Joseph Quinn, right? He deserves some other roles after this. Any casting director should see the effect Eddie has had and be like,
Oh,
"Oh, we
God,
need to
yeah.
snap
Oh
it."
yeah, him
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure.
God,
Joe
what
Joe
you-
Keery, like the guy that plays Steve. I mean, they're all great. Like
Yeah.
There's some good
I like.
actors.
Oh, that's a
That's
question.
Joe-
Will Steve die next season?
I don't even believe they can be killed anymore.
I don't
Dude,
think they're.
that's what I want to bring up. Him, Robin, and Nancy. They were like tied up with tentacles for like 40
for a
minutes.
while,
Oh
man.
They
my
were
God.
dead.
That pissed me off because I was like, how many times is this freaking thing? Like, it was like 20 minutes. Like, you can't survive for that
Listen,
long.
it was Game of Thrones season 8 episode 3, the battle where you see people up against the wall and they're about to die and you're like, "Oh shit, we're losing one main character," and then 5 minutes later they're still on the wall fighting people. Like
Yeah.
they were literally like Robin's neck looked like it was about to pop off at one point. And then
They were all being choked to death.
Yes.
It
They
was
were
like,
choked to death. There's
well,
no way.
Steve is a strong swimmer. He can hold his breath for a long time. Like it makes no sense. That was a joke. I tried.
I thought it was lame as fuck. That team was like the most important element to deliver that
And they
kill shot.
sucked.
They're walking up the stairs, being all careful. Then they're like, "All right, guys, here we go. Prepare." Oh, we're out of
Oh,
commission. I
sorry,
was just like,
no.
"Oh, what? Come on!" Like,
yeah. And then they like they were like so careful not to step on anything, and then all of a sudden it's like you are all dead, like
Well,
fucking choking.
This is something that bothers me about this show, and it's happened since, I don't know if I would have to go back and watch season 1, but since at least season 2, the urgency. It always seems like they're walking they're like taking their time. Like it's never like they have to get there quickly and get it done. I always feel like in the most important moments, 11's just strolling.
Yeah.
You know,
Dude,
like
Sporking, you're right, because like I was thinking that about like again this group that was walking when they first like entered into the Upside Down or whatever, and they're like walking in the forest, and Steve's like telling her how he feels about her and like all the stuff, and I'm like, well, y'all do realize where you are, right? Like you're gonna die in like 2 seconds if like anything goes wrong or like whatever. It feels like they don't actually know what is. I don't know. It just the urgency is not there.
They always, even before that, they stand there and pose as the camera pans around.
Yes.
Yeah.
To give another example, Master of Puppets scene is fucking perfect, 11 out of 10, right?
Beautiful.
But some of the bothers me is the nature of like, so Eddie is dragging an army of killer bats to him. Max is running around in a nightmare world, seconds away from getting a brain torn to shreds. It's like, so you guys have got to get in there and kill Vecna, right?
Yep.
When the bats are pulled away and they go like, right, let's go. They like go from crouching to sort of standing and then start walking forward. And I was like, what?
Thank you.
You guys need to sprint.
Run.
It has to get done now.
There are many people's lives relying on you right now. It upsets me to think that Eddie and Max might have lived if they were a little bit fucking faster. I don't know.
Just a little, exactly.
That is a question. If Eddie since he found the bike, why haven't they ever tried to use a car? I mean, it's the upside down. It's the flip side. So everything should be there.
All the tanks would be empty by now, I guess.
I don't know, but
he found the bike. Yeah, they could ride bike.
They could bring a petrol tank, so yeah.
Yes. Another thing that bothered me was when she was walking through the skate memory, and she's like, "That's out of place." It's sparkly and there's music, and it's like a dance or something. She walks up and she's just staring at it. Like I would have tried to crawl under the table. Like, is this a portal?
You like should be sprinting everywhere, shouting for Max's name. When you spot the weird thing, run right up there, like this, move stuff around. Be like, what is this? What is this?
Yes, that's the one thing that really, it truly bothers me about this show is like in the moments when they're supposed to be urgent, they are not. They're just
not urgent at all.
There's just some weird choices too. You know when she first picks up Vecna and then tosses him into a wall and he falls, and then they're like surprised to see him get back up. I was like, well, of course, you threw him through a thing. Like that last time you literally disintegrated him into another dimension and he came back.
Came back.
I was screaming I was watching it on my phone. I was screaming on my phone at work today, screaming at it because I'm like, do you really think that stopped? Like he is in there. Just go over there and maybe like dump everything on him, like crush the whole in goddamn room. Maybe I don't know, pick up a chair and start WWEing his ass.
Do something,
please.
Well, she does make some smart aleck remark about killing him again, and he's like, "Is that what you did?"
Right.
I thought that was hilarious.
Right.
Oh, dude, this is about the whole like if I tore it apart more, I feel like I get disappointed thinking about it. It's like, what was that when she did what she did to him originally? What is happening there? She sent him to a dimension that, according to Dustin, existed since probably before the dinosaurs. Like, okay. So, are you telling me she, in any way, deliberately converts him into a demon monster and condemns him to live in the upside down? Like, what?
He killed everybody.
And you're like, so I don't understand that at all. And then it's like, and then he took control of it. You're like, that he could do that?
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing that do.
Don't forget when he first ended up there, he looked normal. Okay, so she broke him down to the molecule, sent him through. He came back together looking like himself, and then he was hit with lightning that turned him almost into Vecna. And he's walking around with like half Vecna with like his shirt and pants still on, and then he must have.
Do you know what this reminds me of? Has anybody seen that Dennis Quaid movie called Dreamscape?
Yeah.
It reminds me, remember in Dreamscape, he had this power in order to go into people's dreams.
Yeah.
That was his special talent. Anyway, there's somebody else who had that power that they were training or testing, and he was the evil bad guy.
Yeah.
But he develops, it reminded me a little bit of the way Vecna was. Like he starts to take control of that and become someone different in the dreams.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing is I thought about it two ways. Like one, I thought that basically that 11 thought that she was killing him because she, pushed him into the portal or whatever.
Right.
Rightly so, assuming that she was killing him. But what really happened was that when he entered the upside down or whatever, and that like what was got electrocuted with all that stuff, that the upside down and that dimension amplified his own
powers,
evil and like his own powers. And I think that he was gifted from when he was like young. He was a gifted kid, like before the experiments and stuff like that. That's why he was able to pick up the Black Widow, and the Black Widow weren't biting him and killing him and stuff like that, because he just seemed like a evil child. Like he was literally like
Damien.
Yeah. So,
but I guess it's just it's hard for me to reconcile it, kind of, because it's just like, wow. So if 11 just broke his neck, we wouldn't have had to deal with any of this.
No, yeah, you wouldn't. No.
But that means, can she open up other doors to other places?
Well, yeah, that's a part of the retcon stuff where they're like, remember when you were contacting the Demogorgon in the season 1? That was supposed to be Vecna. And you're like,
yeah.
And then you're like, the Mind Flayer tried to do this, that, and the other. That was him. All that. I'm trying to be nice. I'm like, okay, I can see you trying to bring it together.
It's like, don't scratch it. It'll fall apart.
I didn't understand any of the stuff with the Russia stuff. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I was kind of like, I don't get any of this. Like, where did this particle thing come from? Is that part of the Mind Flare? Like, I was so confused.
I agree. I never understood how Hopper got to Russia. That I missed something.
Well, he was
part of the gate. That part,
yes,
but it blew up because he smiled. No, but
there was a gate. You missed this part. There was a gate in Russia in season 3.
Yeah.
So they were able to. There was one in Russia, one here. When that blew up, it destroyed the gate here, but he was sent to the one in Russia. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like when Joyce and him go and they see like the stuff in the vats and stuff, and then they're like, "Oh no, it's the particles,
the
and
lost
it's like the smoky monster from Lost." I was like, "What the fuck is that? Like, why is it even there? And how did they even capture that thing? Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense."
Did they suck it out of those guys? Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Well, they probably got it when they got the dog thingies.
It was out of them.
Portion.
No,
the smoke monster?
Like,
the smoke capture that.
Well, that's what he's saying. When they wanted to kill the demigorgons or whatever they were, the dog things in Russia, because the smoke monster went into them. The particles
was the Mind Flayer in season 3, though, wasn't it?
Right, but
into
but it was able to, in Russia, the Russian version was able to reanimate these dead demigorgons and become part. That's what I got. If you watch it again, look at it that way. It reanimated them because they were going to go kill it in the smoke form, and they realized they had to kill those animals because the particles were in them. That's how he must have used those particles to warp. Because if you look at him when he's first walking through the Upside Down, when he first gets there, they're only little demigorgons. They're like this big. He must use that smoke to warp them and change them. Watch that whole scene again.
If they're doing reanimation and reanimated stuff, see that worries me then, because then George is right. That gives them an opportunity to do like the same thing with Eddie's body. If it's just been left there, then you can reanimate them.
I don't have as much respect that some people may have for the Duffer Brothers' integrity when it comes to this stuff. I have a feeling that they could bring back Eddie as a hair trigger, sort of like, oh no, people liked him, bring him back.
I agree, Mueller.
I hope they don't, though.
I hope they don't. But look at it. I mean, if people keep going on, Eddie, they listen.
Well, so they bring him back. They go through the whole thing. They think Vecna's dead in the very end scene.
He does the Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That'd be awesome. No,
what I was going to say, by the way, the whole like trying to bind all the season villains into Vecna. It reminds me of the Daniel Craig era of James Bond. Specifically, it was Spectre, right? Where they were like, everything you've seen so far, it's all connected. It's like, no, it wasn't. Like, you're lying to me.
This is some bullshit.
Why do you think they do that? Why do you think they do that, Mahler? It's a question I've always wanted to ask.
They want you to make you feel like the whole journey is all connected. It's all been worthwhile. It's long form storytelling. If you read what they said about their announcement for season 4 and 5, they make reference to how like, oh yeah, we were planning this all before we even filmed season 1, all of it. And it's like, no, you didn't. There's no reference to Vecna before season 4. You made him up, and that's fine. You can do that.
Right.
I think Buffy and Angel was written by the season with some vague ideas. Like it wasn't planned out. Babylon 5 was something that was like extensively planned out. You can have different results with all these different things.
Right.
I'm okay with the Gardner type writing, is what George R. R. Martin described it as, right? If you finish your story, of course.
Yeah, if you finish.
When you got this situation, I wish they were a little more honest. They were like, you know what? We had no fucking clue what was going on when we hit season three.
I would respect that. That would, instead of following, Kennedy's path. Yeah, we were going to bring the emperor back.
Oh yeah, totally on plan.
They just called me last month, and they're like, "Can you please get here?" Yeah.
What's funny is because Vecna claims like a lot of the events of 1, 2, 3 were him manipulating 11, when it's like that's just not true. If you rewatch 2 and 3, where Will makes specific reference to how you're angering him and you're doing things he doesn't want you to do, the Mind Flayer specifically, and then the Mind Flayer is defeated. Season 3, the remains of him in the universe reform with rat flesh and starting possessing people, and he's going to make this huge attack, and they defeat him again. It's like, fuck, you got me. Yeah. What do you tell me? Vecna was like, this is all a part of my plan.
Yeah, because that's what it was like at the end with Will, because he's all like, oh, I feel it. Like, now I know it was all Vecna. And I was like, no, you don't.
No,
like that,
he
didn't even exist. Like,
go spit out another worm, kid. Bullshit, not slug.
This is the thing. I can see the Duffer Brothers being like, come on, guys, we're trying to make it bad. I'm like, I know, but
just admit y'all didn't know. Yeah.
It feels a little condescending when you're like, it's all been there, hasn't it? You can see it. It's like, no, I know.
See, what I thought, didn't we talk about this the last time? We thought he was going to be a rogue general of the Mind Flayer, that like he was working with him just to get his way. That would have been better. Like,
that's cool.
He had his own plan the whole time, but like, no, he's been the top dog the whole time.
Like, he's controlling the Mind Flayer. It's like, okay.
I still don't know.
There wasn't a Mind Flayer
controlling it. I think he's like, I think they're working in tandem. Like, I think
they show him.
He created it.
There.
Right. This was a.
It was there. He formed
it. Was doing its own thing, and then he's puppeteer. I think that's why it's Master of Puppets is the song. Vecna is the Master of Puppets.
Master of Puppets, yeah. It was like the clone tank in the Episode 9 Star Wars sequels. It was the clone tank. Like, he wasn't real at all. He was just part of the plan. Like, I was every voice in your mind all at the same time, or whatever he says. You know what I mean?
Yeah, then you're like, that's bullshit, Palpatine. He's like, bullshit. Yeah, well, deal with it.
Yeah, well, you can't prove it, can you? Yeah, we can.
I mean, that little kid, like, him being a Damien devil child, like, from the beginning, like, I buy that. Like, okay, fine. Like, he's like an evil Damien little
the good son.
Little
the good
shit.
Son.
Yeah, but like now it's like, okay, then again, I buy that he went into the upside down and it amplified his evilness because he already had powers or whatever. But then you have like, okay, he finds the Mind Flayer and then he like makes the Mind Flayer into that spider creature and then starts controlling it. I don't buy that part, because I feel like the Mind Flayer exists on its own.
It's been there for millions of years. That's what I thought.
Like, what the fuck? Like, they should be working separately, or like basically together, but like not have him control it. Like, maybe it gives him a purpose or something, but I don't.
Well, the defeat, I thought
it more as material rather than like an independent conscious entity.
I could see that. Yeah, the way that he was shaping it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, because I thought that was the point. He shapes it into like a spider thing because he likes spiders. I thought that was the point, honestly. Yeah.
But it's the same shape as the Mind Flayer, right?
But I think what you're saying, Jane, is that it has no sentience. It's just an object. Yeah.
I see. I thought he was controlling
it. Sentience.
It did in season 1 and 2.
It did. That's what you think this because it did. They've retconned it kind of now. Which, by the way, because I think that's what was being referenced with, because Dustin said the Demogorgon was a foot soldier. This is a 5-star general, and it turns out he's wrong. He's not the 5-star general. He's the emperor, basically.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Like, it turns out he's actually like the fucking thing that's it
actually hurts. It hurts season 1 and 2 when you have that happen.
They could have easily fixed this. Like, after the Mind Flayer was beat, Vecna had no one to check him. Like, he was his general, but now that the Mind Flayer's been beat, he now can be as free as he wants to do what he wants. You could have easily have done it some way like that, where now, because you beat the big bad, his underling, who always was kept in check by him to do what he wanted, now has free range just to go after El and get his revenge. Like, even if you wanted to keep it as he was number one, you know, I don't know.
Binary Bird for 5 says 11 is reverse Samson. She gets her powers when she cuts her hair. Also, the scene with Eddie was heavy.
There was
and he said, I meant the scene with Eddie's dad.
That was
I think it was his uncle.
Uncle.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
When you said the scene with Eddie was heavy, I was like, which of all of them?
Yeah, there was a lot of heavy scenes with Eddie, especially like I think the death scene was just like.
Did anybody else get young Robert Downey Jr.? Like, young Robert Downey Jr. had like this devilish smile when he was a younger actor. He's probably high at the time, but Eddie was able to like give chemistry with anyone he worked with. Like, this guy who played Eddie, he has talent, man, and he's a young guy. Like, I think he could be something if given the opportunity.
I agree.
Dude,
And he's funny as hell.
I think so too. Spike and Madness says the spider form is the Mind Flayer's body.
Yes.
But it always
I thought it had a head as well. There was like loads of legs and then a head.
Yeah.
Was there not a head?
It had a head. It had a head.
He shaped
Not in the
it.
first episode.
Hang on, I'm going on Netflix.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. In the first episode, it did.
In season 1, when you see it in the sky,
You see that bulbous kind of head?
I thought that was his body. That you said. Maybe I might be wrong, but I
remember it having like spines that come off, and then there's one big pit in the middle that looks more like a head.
That's what I remember. Wait,
Yeah, it's even got like teeth. The Flash version.
But it was his body, right? The body. It could look like a body, doesn't it? But it has a face. All right, someone show me.
Are you talking about the season 1 or the new one?
Season one. Season 1.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going through Netflix. So
does it show up in season 1? Is it the end?
I thought it was at the very end. You see it in the clouds.
Yeah, you see. Yep, exactly.
I'm trying to find the.
Okay.
Because they think they've beaten it, remember, and they still see it.
Isn't that season 2 where they?
Oh, it might be.
Is that because season 1 is the one that ends with like the forest.
Him vomiting up the.
Yeah, but I thought you saw. But I thought you saw him hovering over the forest.
I did too.
Unless.
Because he's hovering over the snowball place, right?
Okay, I got a picture. I don't know exactly when this was, but I'll share this. Hold on. And I don't see what a face or anything, and this is what I kind of remember. Full size image.
Yeah, can you see the part that's the head?
Oh, okay,
yeah.
But didn't he kind of create something like that in this last one?
Well, that's a retcon.
Yes.
That's what we were saying.
In the flashback.
Well, this is season 2.
This is season 2. It looks exactly with the weird leg and. All right, now we need to see the most recent.
Yeah, because if there's I can't remember what he looked like in season 1. It might be a retcon. I can't remember
it wasn't in season 1.
I might have misconfused. I thought at the very end of season 1 there was a lightning storm and you saw his shadow, but maybe I was messing that up with season 2.
I don't think so, because in the season 1, it ends with Will at the bathroom, and he's feeling that
Ego
thing
in the box, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It
was
was
in season 2.
All right, my bad.
Here it is. I found season 1.
You did?
Do it.
Hold on.
Let's see it.
It's coming. It's coming.
Don't you lie to us, man.
Unless.
Yeah, season 1 was only the Demogorgon. That's what I remember.
I know. I was thinking at the very end.
Yeah, because I remember feeling that way. They introduce the Mind Flayer in season 2, and then they bring him back again in season 3 because they don't know what the fuck they're doing anymore. And then Vecna, they fix everything with Vecna. They're like, okay, let's make this make sense because nobody knows what's going on anymore.
Let's bring it together, guys. All right.
Okay. Here, I'm putting the link up so you can see it in the chat. Just scroll down to the halfway. There you go. It's in the private chat. You can just click it and scroll down to the halfway point and click the image. It's when he was at the last scene when he's hovering over that building.
That's the drawing, though. Are you talking about the drawing?
No. In the halfway, go halfway.
Is it the picture that's described as an enraged Mind Flayer?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the snowball. That's the end of season 2.
Oh, okay.
I thought that's what season 1.
I thought
Snowball.
after he's. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's the dance. It flips it. By the way, that's another thing that fucks continuity. Because if Hawkins is stuck in the year it was created, or rather the day it was created, it shouldn't have an upside down version of the snowball. That was an end of year celebration-y thing. So that shouldn't be there. Like according to
yeah, right.
Well,
Are you guys talking about this picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one I was thinking about too, and I thought that was the end of season 1 after he spit up the worm.
Yeah, that's the end of season 2.
Okay.
If you go right above it, what about the picture that Will drew? It's in that same page. Isn't that from?
Well, the picture might be from.
I can't remember.
Picture season 2 as well.
Okay, we suck. All right, move on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, because season 1 only had the Demigorgon. Like, we never had the Mind Flare or anything like that.
We don't know. I thought it had a.
Again, to me, it says that they didn't even know at the end of season 1 what bad guys they had, and then they wrote in the Mind Flare. So like, that's pretty cool. Right. And then someone on the team was like, "What even is it?" And they were like, and then they were like, "Guys, we are writing season 3. What is it?" And it's like, "I don't know."
But it's gonna be awesome.
You guys want to know something really funny? Is like, because I had heard that there was the time jump. And then in this thing, it was like 2 days later. And I was like, oh my God, is this the time jump that they're talking about? Because they were like, there's going to be a time jump.
I'm gonna go to Netflix real quick.
What was the entire point of having a 2-day time jump?
Fucking hell, that made me mad. Because I knew that meant we weren't getting the Eddie scenes. I was like, no, you skipped them, you fuck.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm trying to find like the last thing we see of the stupid Mind Flare.
Hey, leave him alone.
Poor Mind Flare.
He's trying to be all spooky.
Well, the funny, I guess I don't know if this is funny or not, but you don't see him at all yet. Like this is just, which again, I don't even kind of get this. Like this is just like smoke. Like
yeah.
It's very strategic smoke though, which is kind of weird.
Same exact way.
When you see it from above, you can see that they're along the lines.
Yeah,
where the earth is broken, I guess.
Right.
Right.
No, it kind of looks off a little bit, actually.
I'm not 100% clear. I think they could match if perspective is one thing I was curious about though was that these are all the results of like each of the gates, and I was like, so how did they come back? Did they go through the gates? It would have been a gaping hole at this point that burns people, or is that only when they're? I don't know.
Maybe when it flared off, it was.
Yeah, maybe it was okay to go through at that point, but I think there's a reason they didn't show us that, and that is because they were like, I don't want to answer that question.
Yeah.
They got through it. Everybody will be
fine.
The
gates are open. That's all we need to know.
Yeah, yeah. They got back. It was cool.
Dude, that's another thing that I think is kind of absurd about this. Is like, oh, it's an earthquake. How strange. It's like anybody looking at this would be like, okay, this is more than an
way
earthquake.
more than an earthquake.
Yeah.
Well, I like for sure.
I like how they're like, it's an earthquake or demons may have come out of the ground and Eddie was in charge of it. You know, like, come on.
Oh my God. Did you guys like the scene where they finally reunite, like Elle and Hopper?
It didn't actually.
It wasn't
real
as
to me.
right.
I
it
was
wasn't
wondering if this was even happening.
Yeah,
like whether it's even real.
She would have fell down, broke down. Like
I felt, it was a little lackluster.
Yes. There wasn't
Am I the only one that thought their relationship was toxic as fuck in season 2?
Yeah, toxic too. Yeah, toxic.
No, it was bad.
Season 3,
like to the point where I wish I'd never seen it. I didn't want to see this. Like where they just fucking hate each other. I was like, why are you showing me this?
Mahler, you said it great earlier. This was his second chance. He threw away his life after his child died, his wife left, and now this was his second chance to get his life together. And they leaned into also the whole, like, I'm a protective dad. Like, it was bad. It was bad.
He's very good socially in season 1. I don't know if you guys remember, but he's trying to deal with Joyce, who he thinks is just losing her mind. And he says, like, I know you think you're hearing Will's voice. Right. I know that like, I went through something. And then she was like, I know the difference between, like, going nuts and actually hearing it. If you heard your daughter's voice, you'd understand, wouldn't you? And they both have to like take a second because that's pretty harsh, like, to bring up. But he also understands. He's like, okay, and they try and have some but like he doesn't. It's so weird because like watching season 2 and 3 again, like like I said, I really believe they kind of made Hopper, they gradually making him more of a joke.
Yes.
And he's quick to anger, and he just doesn't understand how to work with people. Remember with Joyce, he's like, help me understand, how do children work?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, like I get that the fathers can have trouble like sort of dealing with this stuff, but you didn't have to make it this embarrassing, because he's like a different person at that point. But like season 4, it's like they're trying to draw back critical thinking, socially like understandable Hopper, where there's a reason why we respected him, even though he's had a tough life and he fell to alcohol and drugs, you know. That's the character I really like. I don't want to see fumbly fat guy who falls over and he's like, oh my God, I don't like my daughter getting kissed by a boy.
Or like, we only eat, elbow macaroni and hot dogs every night. Like, I could understand getting rid of the bachelor like guy living and being like, oh my God, I have a young lady living in the house now. But like, you're absolutely right. Like the whole, like a kid he's known his whole life, who's been a good kid. Now he wants to like, I don't know, like almost like challenge him as a man. And the kid's like 12. Like it made no sense.
He basically threatens to kill Mike at one point almost. Yeah. And it's not like, I think you could argue it's like, it's kind of comedic. It's like Mike is like scared of him. And I don't know that is something you want from this show. Like narratively speaking, I think those two should be on good terms, not I'm terrified of Hopper killing me to the point where I won't even visit 11 anymore. It's like, why is this the plot line? What are we doing?
Yeah. It was kind of funny though at the end where like of this episode or this season when they kind of like brought that back because he was like, like he hated him. He hated him so much and it made no fucking sense. So they just kind of like make fun of that. And I thought that was funny.
You just helped me remember as well. Like, I think another reason why I hate it was because season 1, Mike and 11 is actually incredibly sweet, endearing, and like you feel for those kids.
Yes.
Do you remember season 2, 11? I'm not going to go into that. Actually, I'll just skip to the part where so 11's been gone for like a year. Mike finds out, and he's still super young, that Hopper's been keeping her a secret, and he fucking rages out at Hopper.
Oh, I
punching him, he's hitting him.
He cursed at him.
Yeah, and then he breaks down, starts crying, and Hopper holds him. And I was just like, "Oh, that's it's good stuff."
Well, because he's a little kid.
You're telling me that kid, the one at like 2 years younger, was willing to fucking punch the shit out of Hopper for keeping her a secret? Is now like, I'm so scared of you, I won't see her at all. It's like, no, fuck that.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. There was definitely like certain things about season 2 and 3 that was like so stupid.
Dude, imagine Mike, if Hopper told me like, you don't want to see what's going to happen if you try and push me, like, and he says like, you haven't seen Crazy yet, I'd be like, I'm just going to tell all the other parents about this.
Yeah.
And then you'll get fucking fired first of all, but then you'll just have no friends. Like, you're threatening a child because he's in love with your daughter.
Right.
You're a fucking idiot.
You're a psycho. And I've also fought demigorgons and all these things. Like I'm not, you're just nuts.
I feel like E-Clay makes a really good point here. Vecna can't count. Spiders have 8 legs. That's true.
He's fixing the spiders. They're better now.
Yeah. Also, the one leg breaks into like 2 or 3 also.
That's true, yeah. Maybe it does come to 8. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's true, yeah, because he oh my God, yeah, because he breaks the
like you can't really see it as well there, but
I guess it's like this, because it's got the
Mike and Jonathan have been useless for way too long.
Oh my God.
Way too long. Like that's why I was saying like I feel like Mike should have died and then 11 would have lost her shit because she would have been like, oh my God, Mike. And then something would have happened. But I feel like we need another Super Saiyan thing for 11. Like 11 needs something else. Yeah. Like, and I don't know how.
I think Vecna killing Mike at the end of this season would have been perfect as a lead up to how she's gonna have the motivation to kill him in season 5. Mike, he's running out of plot fuel. You need to do something with him. Like,
it's so lame. So lame.
He's just lame now.
Well, they took away his personality. Like, he has nothing now but his obsession with her.
Yep. He's scared of her. He's scared of her. But I do have to get going, Nina. I just realized the time, and I told my wife I'd be up at 9 p.m. and it's 9:23. So
that's totally fine, Scott. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
It's always an honor. I really do. This is like, I do streams 3 nights a week, and this is my favorite stream to do on your channel. So it goes to show you how much I suck as a YouTuber. But I have I do. I have so much fun on your channel because it's conversations that like this is what we should be talking about. Not like all the bullshit that goes with like, the
politics,
message,
yeah.
I enjoy breaking down the stupid like decision makings people make, and how when I watched it like right off the rip, I was so happy. And then like I start breaking down, well, if they did this, I kind of do what you said, Mahler. Like I'll watch something and enjoy it, and then I start thinking about it and it kills me and I hate it because I'm like, God, that sucked that they changed that. Oh, they retconned this, but at least it is like was it Natalie? The girl who was here before from
Yes.
Yes, Natalie. She said it perfectly. It is like 95 to 90% better than anything else. So all the garbage they have
That's
out
all
there.
true.
Yeah.
That's all true.
A lot of my passion for this is coming from the fact that I love so much of it.
Yeah.
I'm so happy with so much of it. And so I'm just like, why couldn't you have tweaked that? And then I could have loved it fully.
Right.
By
Even
the way,
more.
Mahler, Scott, I know you got to go.
Yes.
But we're all going to call the stream now because we all realize we all have to get going anyway.
Okay.
So
Sorry
we're
about
gonna
that.
we're gonna all go to. So we're gonna have a little bit of outros. But before you go, Mahler, I watched everything all the time. I
Everything
forget the
everywhere all at
fucking
once.
name.
Yeah.
That one. I watched it. That movie was fucking insane, and I feel like we need to talk about it at some point.
All right.
It
I'll
is
have to watch
insane.
that then.
Very
What's
true.
it called?
Everything everywhere all at once.
Everything
what
everywhere.
I
is
couldn't
it?
get past the tax office. I could not.
Oh,
Right.
That's when
you were
everything
right
gets
at the moment.
crazy.
I was gonna say you're 5 minutes away from the whole film going nuts.
Yeah, like literally, like that's like, you gave up literally when everything is about like the shit is gonna hit the fan, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Bye, Scott. Sorry. Bye.
Scott.
Okay, Mahler, thank you so much for coming to hang out with us tonight. It's
Hey,
an
no problem. It was
absolute
lots of fun.
pleasure.
Funnily enough, with Stranger Things, it was something of a strange moment because a lot of my regular people I talk to didn't really watch it, and I was just like, oh well, you can catch it up. They're like, I haven't seen season 1. I was like, oh fuck.
now you have some other person to talk things
Well,
with.
the
Me.
crazy thing is, I don't know if any of you guys are similar, but like I have been shitting on that show for the past like 3 years.
I have too.
hardcore. And then suddenly I'm here advocating like you should go watch season 4 though.
Yeah, I've been doing the same thing, Mahler, and then like literally been like, this show should have ended since season 1. Like, fuck this show. And then like all of a sudden I'm like, this is how you do a redemption arc. Like if you
Yeah.
if you want your people back, like this is how you do it. Is this season?
For as much as I've been shitting on it, the retcons, quote unquote, they were the wisest choice they've made. Like, you need to fix everything. Your villains are broken. Your characters are purposeless. And to be fair, some of them still are, but some of them have been fixed. Max was fixed.
Max was fixed.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That was brilliant.
I feel like what's his name was fixed too. The kid with the Dustin. I feel like Dustin got fixed because I he wasn't one of my favorite characters at all.
In season 3, certainly, I felt like Dustin's falling off, but he's kind of back now.
Yeah,
I
I
love the scenes with him and Steve and him and Eddie. I really do.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do too. I do too.
Those
It was
are great.
I think right now the only characters that they really need to fix now is Mike and fucking
desperately.
the brother, which I
Will?
again forgot his name. Jonathan.
Mike, Will, and Jonathan, they all need to be
Gotta
fixed.
go.
They're all they're all struggling.
Okay, so George, thank you for being here.
Thank you
Please
for
tell
having me.
everyone where they can find you.
You can find me, as always, at George Giant Slayer, and I wish you all a happy July 4th, and I'll have a new video.
Yay,
Since I've
happy
fallen in
July
love with Indian cinema lately, I've been doing a deep dive.
Ooh, nice.
So I'll have a new one out, Bahubali, on the Wednesday.
Perfect. Thank you. And Mr. Buttcrack Media, thank you so much for the $1.99 super sticker of a thumbs up. And Jane, thank you so much for being here, girl. It's always fun to talk to you. Tell
I
everyone
love it.
where they can find you.
Anytime. You can find me here on YouTube at Jane Theory, also Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and possibly more. We'll see.
Oh, possibly more. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Mahler, we do this every Sunday. So open invitation, man. Whenever you want to come by, we're always talking about something. You are more than welcome to join us.
My schedule's terrifying. I have to carve out because I'm on too many podcasts regularly now.
I understand. I understand
Nightmare.
completely.
However, I will see you on Tuesday to probably not talk about Stranger Things, because Az will be like, "Hey, spoilers!" or
Yeah,
like,
don't talk to
fine.
me about Stranger Things. Yeah, I'm sorry that I couldn't make this week because this was like, oh my god, I was so sick, Mahler. Like I woke up and I was like literally like 104 fever, just dying. Like like this not happening. But I will see you this week for sure.
And we will talk vaguely about Stranger Things.
Vaguely. Just a little bit. Again, thank you for being here, everybody. I'm sure you know who he is. Longman Mahler. Check out his channel. It's in the description. Everybody, thank you for being here. Chat. Thank you for hanging out with us. All the lovely messages, all the super chats. Everybody, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody. Let's
Bye.
get out on Naked Tom Hiddleston, as we always do. Let me find him. There he is. Okay, bye.
I'm so sorry.
I'll survive.
I don't doubt it. You're an excellent specimen. I thought you were empty.
I just moved in.
I'm sure.